Welcome in, folks, to the Unofficial Titans podcast live at the 2022 NFL Draft. Well, we're not at the 2022 NFL Draft. We're watching the 2022 NFL Draft on screen in front of us. This is the live watch-along here on Sobros Network. I am your host, the EIC of SobrosNetwork.com, Big Natural Stoney Keeley. You can follow all of us. Our Twitter handles are scrolling across the bottom of your screen. We've got the utility man to my left of Sobros Network, Mr. Stephen McCash. Stephen, how are you doing on this fine NFL draft day?
I'm excellent. And who dat, baby?
Who dat? Okay. And to my right, we've got the president of the Music City Film Critics Association, longtime friend of the brand, Sean Atkins. Sean, how are you doing today, my man?
Doing great. It's the most hopeful day of the year as a Texans fan. It can also be the one that makes me scream the most.
So we've got three fan bases represented here: Saints, Titans, and Texans.
One Super Bowl amongst the three.
Okay. Okay. You're gonna twist that knife on us. So already, like, we're just over a minute into the stream and already taking jabs about that Super Bowl. But three fan bases that I think feel probably pretty different going into tonight's draft. We'll start with you, Sean, because the Texans are up first. They pick at 3. They pick again at 13. There's been some rumors out there that they're trying to trade back into the top 10 for somebody. What do you think the biggest positions of need are for your Houston Texans going into tonight?
Everywhere,
just across the board. Anybody that can play.
Literally everywhere. And I mean, at least with the third pick overall, you need to get the best available player that the front office and Coach Lovie Smith views. But anywhere, just about everywhere. I think the only position you don't need to, draft at is quarterback, at least early on. They've already committed to Davis Mills, but literally everywhere else, you can pick anywhere.
I think it's interesting, too, that if Davis Mills had come out this year, he probably would have been the highest graded quarterback in this draft class anyway. So
100%.
Might as well stick to your guns. I like Davis Mills. I liked a little bit of what we saw from him his rookie season. What do you, as far as your faith in him as a prospect moving forward goes, what do you think his ceiling is as the quarterback of the Texans?
His ceiling, I think, is still yet to be determined because we saw flashes of someone that could be, a solid quarterback in the NFL. He also was playing well without really much of a decent line and no running back, unless you want to consider Rex Burkhead in his 800th year in the NFL a starting running back among the 32 teams in the league. So
yeah.
He didn't have much around him other than Brandon Cooks. So I think it's promising, and this draft is going to be very key if they want to go offense early to get him the pieces to help him. So we'll see.
Do you have a prospect in mind that you like for the Houston Texans?
They've been preaching this whole culture thing, whether it's from Nick Caserio or Jack Easterbunny. So a couple of guys I think really fit what they're trying to do. And I think culture it's a real thing, but I think people don't know exactly what culture is for team. But I think two guys in mind stick out for Houston that would fit this, quote, culture and whatever they're doing in Houston. And that is Ekwonu from NC State.
Yeah.
And Kyle Hamilton.
I love me some Kyle. Those are two of my favorite prospects in this draft. I think those are two cornerstone guys. My crazy take on Hamilton was that he should be the first overall pick. He should go to Jacksonville. I think people are talking about these two edge rushers, sleeping on how well Jacksonville's defense performed in 2021. They were in a lot of games because of their defense. I think they can survive without the edge rusher. But, man, you add a guy in Kyle Hamilton that plays a lot like Derwin James, that's a difference maker in your defensive backfield. So I'm with you on the Hamilton love.
He's a great leader. He comes from a great school in Notre Dame. I don't know if I would necessarily pick him at 3, but if they think he is the best player available at 3, then get him, because at 13 right now, I don't think Kyle Hamilton will be there unless the Texans trade up, which has been what has been the rumor here for the past few hours, that the Texans want to move up and get in the top 10 other than their third overall pick. So we'll see. So
yeah, I'm with you on Ekwonu as well. I think he's the best run blocking tackle in this draft. I don't know he looks like a pure left tackle to me. I don't
Mhm.
know what the situation with Laramie Tunsil would be if they did draft Ekwonu. What do you think? Would they slide Tunsil to the right, or would they just have both of them? Maybe Ekwonu waiting in the wings while the Tunsil situation plays itself out, or he plays his contract out.
I think what they'll do is they'll stick if they pick Ekwonu, I think the first year at least they will stick him at guard, and then Laramie Tunsil stays at left tackle, and then right tackle Titus Howard, who will be in his fifth and final year
Yeah,
with the team. And if they decide to move on from Titus Howard, then they can slot Ekwonu right there at right tackle potentially. So, yeah, I think that's how they would go. And I think with those three, if you put in that formation on the line, I think it'd be a decent line. So.
Stephen McCash, it doesn't feel like it's been too long since you and I were in Mobile, Alabama, covering the Senior Bowl when this whole process sort of kicked off, talking about what our teams would do back then. How has your opinion of where the Saints are changed since early February, and what do you think your team needs the most tonight?
Well, it's changed quite a bit because we spent a lot of time dissecting the quarterbacks.
We
down
did,
there.
yeah.
And especially one that wasn't there, Matt Corral, who, being an Ole Miss alum, I'm a big fan of and would love to see him in a Saints jersey.
QB1.
I personally do not think it'll happen because we re-signed Jamison, which I'm happy about. I think he had a great start to the season before he got injured.
Man, you've been advocating for Jameis Winston for months now.
True. And I got my wish.
You got your wish.
But we signed the Red Rocket to back him up. Andy Dalton is a Saint. Hope he never sees the field. But with Michael Thomas being out the whole year, that team never really gelled, even though they barely missed the playoffs. If the Rams had just closed the deal against the Niners in the final game of the regular season, the Saints would have been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Despite not having a quarterback. But our two biggest needs going in to this draft, I believe, is wide receiver and the offensive line.
Yeah, they got to get somebody to replace Teron Armstead. Is that? Yeah, Teron Armstead. There were rumors for a while that the Saints kind of, jockeying for position. They pick up a second first-round pick. The rumor was that they were going to try and package those 2 first-round picks to move up to get one of these cornerstone tackles. If that were the case, sacrificing the second first-round pick to get a guy like Ike Ekwonu that we just talked about, or Evan Neal that we've talked about, or Charles Cross, who I think is the best tackle in the draft. Would you be okay with that sort of strategy if it lands them their left tackle of the future, a guy that they can bookend for the next 10 years?
Possibly. Evan Neal's the one that's been high on my board since the college season ended.
Yeah.
It's just a lot to 2 first rounders and probably something else maybe. It's a lot, especially when your quarterback position is filled for the time being. I don't know if Winston is a long-term answer in New Orleans. It's a lot,
but he's bought you a little bit of time. True. At the very least.
But I think at 16, the guy that impressed me the most in Mobile will be available, and that's Mr. WrestleMania, Trevor Penning.
That was going to be my next question. If you can get Evan Neal, do you take him over potentially getting, say, Trevor Penning and Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, or the other wide receiver from Ohio State,
Chris Olave.
Well. I think that's the route I would go with Penning, and then another wide receiver. That takes care of both of your problems, must-need problems immediately.
Yeah, I'm with it. Well, let's talk about, before we get into it, they're about to put the Jags on the clock here. We're live here at Sobros HQ. Still, if you watched our watch along for the college football national championship game, no, I never did go get a banner to hang behind us. We're literally just sitting in front of the staircase at my house, but we're having fun here. Stephen, what are you sipping on today?
A little Montucky.
There you go. I've got a gin and tonic going. If you know me, you know I'm all about that gin. I got a little bit of Asbury Park Distilling gin in this one.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Brought this one back from Jersey. Sean, what do you have in your cup?
Nelson's whiskey from the people who made Bellmead Bourbon, which they're gonna make that a Tennessee exclusive, I think, whiskey, and Nelson's is gonna be their flagship bottle from going forward. So
there you go.
But Montucky, I gotta tell you, highly underrated.
Man, it is a refreshing beer that it has, But tell the story of how you discovered Montucky.
Yeah.
You're a Bud Light guy.
I'm a simple bitch when it comes to beer. I'm not a beer snob by any leaps and bounds, but I was at the Exit Inn for a show, which is my favorite venue in Nashville. I scream its praises all the time. I would go to the bar. I was in the mood for a beer, so I asked for a Bud Light, and they're like, "Sorry, buddy, we don't have that here." I'm like, "Well, what's the closest thing you have?" Montucky was the answer. I was like, "I'd give it a shot. $4, who cares?" And I fell in love on sip.
Yeah. To me, it's comparable to Bud Light, but at the same time, it's a little more full-bodied, it's a little more robust. It's got a little more flavor to it. All right, so
I originally thought it was made in Kentucky.
Well,
maybe there was a Montana, Kentucky, and I didn't know that, and that's where I came up, but it's actually from Montana.
That's what it was. So we've got the Jags on the clock here. Yeah, Mel Kiper's not there. I'm sorry, Sean. I told you he was there, but I saw where he was sitting earlier, and it looked like he was on a set somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like, that he's on a set somewhere. I guess he has something in his contract, or I guess just didn't want to go to Vegas for that. I mean, he's done how many of these for how long?
Jesus, what's the rumor that he's a fucking vampire? Isn't that what it is? Mel Kiper's a vampire. I got to tag our boy Jason in this live stream real quick because he asked for a link. We're trying to get people in, for the brand. Yeah.
All is wanted here.
Is Jacksonville gonna pull this same bullshit and wait until the clock runs out to pick number 1 overall? Because last year when they did that with Trevor Lawrence and they made everyone around the country wait for them to announce that pick,
yeah,
you just knew karma was going to hit them that upcoming season. Are they going to do this bullshit again?
I would like to say no, because they don't have a narcissist running the team anymore.
Well,
a narcissist with heart problems, supposedly.
Yeah, that's
heart problems and eats Papa John's.
Okay, well,
golf cart, Papa John's and co-eds,
and just like fingering women in bars that aren't his wife. What's your favorite, Steven? We'll start with you. What's your favorite moment of the Urban Meyer era in Jacksonville?
Geez. I think his starring role on an episode of AEW Dynamite.
Oh, when he like handed Chris Jericho the laptop or whatever. Yeah. I like how this is the most interesting, mysterious NFL draft in recent memory. And we're not even talking about who are the Jags going to take at number 1? No, we're talking about all the ways Urban Meyer fucked up as head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sean, do you have a favorite Urban Meyer moment from Jacksonville?
Was it after he got fired? Was it him that said it, or was it someone on his staff that when they played the Rams, was it? And he didn't know who Aaron Donald was? I'm like, how do you not know the best player in the NFL is who is on the other side of the ball? How do you not know this?
Man, that was, it's one of those things you hear and you think that can't be real. This 99 is going to give us problems, isn't he? I think that was the quote. This 99, he's going to give us problems.
That whole season with Urban Meyer in Jacksonville, HBO right now has this thing with the Lakers dynasty winning time.
Yeah.
HBO needs to make something with the Jaguars franchise called losing time and go through all the years of shit that they've
I'm here for it.
done. And one of the years or seasons cover the whole Urban Meyer charade.
All right. So let's get some sort of an analysis in here. Steven, Jags are on the clock, a little less than 5 minutes to pick. Who should be the pick?
I mean, I think it's Trayvon Walker is the route they go.
I think that's who they will select. I think they should take Kyle Hamilton. I would go Hamilton here. Sean?
Oh, it's in the picks. Oh man, they knew we were talking shit about.
They did. Yeah, they were like, man, these fucking guys on Sobro's network.
I think the pick's gonna be Trayvon Walker as well. Is it the right pick? Probably not.
I don't love Trayvon Walker. I think he's got some major bust potential in the NFL. He's got all these explosive traits and he's powerful. And if he gets with a coaching staff that can kind of develop that into production, he'll be in a good spot. But man, you just watch the tape and in game action, the production's not there.
Yeah. My question is, how did he quickly rise? Because not even 3 months ago, they were talking, maybe mid to late first round pick, and now he's probably going to go first overall. Like, where did this come from?
Well, and you look at all these guys from that Georgia defense. At one point, Trayvon Walker was kind of in the mix with like Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker, who was considered a first round pick at one point. It was like all these Georgia boys, but now all of a sudden Trayvon Walker out of nowhere after the combine, I guess, and the pro day and all the testing part of it, the athletic traits started to shine a little bit and just started to skyrocket.
It's man.
Here's a question as we're waiting on the pick. Who is the grayish bluish bird on the Muppets that Mel Kiper looks so much alike?
Oh my God.
The grayish bluish bird?
I'm gonna have to pull it up.
It's not Gonzo. Gonzo wasn't a bird.
Gonzo's a bird.
Does anybody know what the fuck Gonzo even is?
A Gonzo?
He's a Muppet. That's just what it is. So here we go. It's moment of truth time. The pick is in. I think we're all in agreement that the pick is going to end up being Trayvon Walker.
Sam the Eagle.
You're pulling out Muppets I ain't never even heard of. Oh, yeah, he does. Oh, man.
Dear Google, what is Gonzo?
All right, here we go. Oh, everyone boo Goodell.
Second year in a row, they're picking number 1 overall. There it is. Trayvon Walker. Yeah.
I just need Neal to be one of the next 4 picks to win my bet.
Yeah, you've got a bet under 5.5, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good.
So the edge rushers, damn, I can't even see which card I have up here. Oh, man, I picked the right one. I had Trayvon Walker behind Kayvon Thibodeau and Aiden Hutchinson. Like I said, I think there's some concerning bust potential with Trayvon Walker. But you know what? If he busts, it couldn't happen for a better team. I'll just say that.
Yeah, 100%. Did they just like show him home a delayed reaction and we didn't even get to see the reaction, or was everyone just supposed to golf clap?
Everybody was just sitting there calmly.
Because usually 100% of the time when they show the people at home, it's a great reaction. You love to see those kind of moments, but man, they must have been really delayed there because All right. Oh, Detroit's picks are in.
Detroit, they didn't waste any time.
They're not fooling around.
They ain't fooling around.
Everybody says Hutchinson, but man, the smoke coming out this week has been that they like Thibodeau. I'm a Thibodeau fan myself. I think he's got the right kind of potential. There, man, he's just, I don't know. How do we feel about Mel Kiper's tie tonight?
It's a choice.
I don't love it. All right, we are efforting a photo of Sam the Eagle. This is what Steven just said a minute ago. Mel Kiper looks like.
I've thought it for years.
Thanks to our crack production team. That's Mel Kiper.
Yeah. Just need the glasses on Sam.
You're telling me, what? Didn't ESPN make a big deal with the Manning brothers, with the Manning cast for the next season?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm surprised they couldn't convince them to know, even if it's the first 10 picks, to be up there on that main stage right there for ESPN. I mean,
I would love that.
I mean, God bless Booker, but at the same time, no one wants to see him anymore. He's just a meme up there. I mean,
yeah,
that's all he is.
Unless he's in like a chair lifted above the field, floating around like he's at fucking Hogwarts. I don't give a shit about anything he has to say.
So what do you think the pick is here, Steven? I mean, do the Lions just sprint to the podium to get Aiden Hutchinson, who feels like a Dan Campbell guy?
I do. And I don't think people realize the brilliance of the Detroit Lions.
I love the Lions.
They've been a
this
doormat of the North for years and years. They've strategically just been waiting for Aaron Rodgers to go away. And they're getting closer and closer.
They
You're
just
not
keep
afraid
building.
of the Bears. You're not afraid of the Vikings.
No.
And what other shitty teams in the North? If there is one. Yeah, there's
4.
Yeah.
The Packers.
Yeah. Well, so when the Packers start sucking again, the Lions have it.
There you go.
Damn it.
There it is. There's
Super
the
two.
pick. There's the pick.
That's who. All this talk the past 24 hours was that Aiden was falling. He was falling.
He fell to 2.
He
Like,
fell to 2.
Jam, Dan, and the kneecaps.
The kneecap biters. Yeah. So, all right. Houston's on the clock, Sean. Aiden Hutchinson, Trayvon Walker off the board. What are you thinking here?
Aquanu. But I fear, because that has what's been building up the past couple of days, is that they're going to pick Derek Stingley Jr. 13, I would be fine with. But at 3, no, not at all. But
Aiden Hutchinson has a little bit of a Vince McMahon strut going tonight.
that's what I was just thinking too. That was
What's the punter? That's the commentator now. That's the vibe he's giving me.
Pat
McAfee?
McAfee?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think of Pat McAfee in a wrestling ring?
Love him. Put him and Bad Bunny together.
Yeah, there we
Tag
go.
team champions of the world, baby.
Yeah, I'm with it.
just like looking here on Twitter, and the Texans put out a tweet on the clock thing, and it's sponsored by Jameson. Is that kind of a hint as to fans need to start drinking?
Go ahead, pour your whiskey. Let me go to my big board here and see what my notes were on Hutchinson. I had Hutchinson as the 8th overall player in this draft. Yeah, I just think he's going to get run at without mercy in the NFL. Can't deny his production. He is a high floor guy, pure pass rusher. But I think it's lazy to say he's not a good athlete, because I do think he's a good athlete, but I think it's a stretch to call him the third Bosa brother or whatever I think it was PFF was saying about him.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that he has the athleticism it takes to routinely beat the athletic tackles you're going to see in the NFL on a regular basis. And I think he's going to be pretty easily neutralized by teams just running the ball at him, unless he can develop a more robust pass rush toolkit.
I think if Houston had their chance to get him, I think it would fit well in Lovey's defense.
Okay.
I don't, with Detroit, I'll be curious because Detroit, I still don't think they're going to be good for a while. And I know they got to build from the trenches, but I don't know. I think you'll be right. And I think a lot of evaluators are going to be right that he probably isn't going to be a prolific pass rusher. He might not be as good as or that good at that pick at 2nd overall.
I saw somebody compare him to Trey Hendricks of the Cincinnati Bengals, and I thought that longtime New Orleans Saint too.
Yep.
I thought that's a pretty apt comparison. I think he can be that guy where he's a factor, but I just don't know that he's going to be the game changer. Damn, the Texans pick is already in.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm picking Evan Neal for the next 3 picks until it happens.
Because you want to hit that bet.
Yep.
You want to hit that bet.
I need money for the Grizzlies game tomorrow, baby.
Chase Young was 2 overall. Oh, that was behind Burrow. Yeah. Did you see the pick?
Yep.
Is it Stingley?
Yep.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, Sean. I love that. I love Stingley. I think you're gonna like Stingley.
Well, I don't follow too many NFL reporters, but the one that I trust, or one of my favorites, Albert Breer, just put it out. And
what's the
I shouldn't have looked at my phone. I'm already upset.
We're 3 picks in and we've ruined Sean's night.
Mine will be ruined in 3 more picks if I don't hear a certain name.
What do you guys think about this? The I don't want to call it leaking of draft picks, but if you're on Twitter, which, if you're a writer, podcaster like me, like you kind of have to be on Twitter for big events like this. But the picks come out early. Here we are minutes later, and they still haven't even announced it on the screen.
The boat has to go a long way.
The boat has to. That's right. They're boating them across the water there. How do we feel about that? Are you the type? Do you just stay off Twitter altogether, or do you care? Or
I don't like it. I'm like, why can't people just keep their mouth shut? Everybody's trying to be the first to get the scoop out there, and that's the society we live in with social media as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I like old school when I didn't know shit. I had to VCR a game and come home and watch it later.
Yeah. Sean, you were gonna say something,
and it's all about being first. I mean, some of those writers I do, or some of the NFL writers I do respect highly, but it's people like Adam Schefter when he wants to be first and put some kind of BS. Especially, he's just been getting dragged through the mud, rightfully so, for the past few months, especially after what happened with the Dwayne Haskins. I mean, such a bad one. And then he's like, oh, his apology. Oh, it's in a podcast that he wants to promote. Why?
So here we go. So that was the thing. There were a lot of smart people that said this week, don't be surprised if Stingley ends up going ahead of Sauce Gardner. I like Stingley. I think he's a really good, well-rounded corner. He's got the physical traits. I think some of the concerns about his dip in production from his stellar freshman year, I think it's a little overblown. I think that same cornerback is still there. Explosive, immaculate game. I think he and Sauce, you're talking like 1A and 1B, splitting hairs here, but I think they're both bona fide superstars in the NFL. Stingley's athletic, technically sound. He has an impressive change of direction ability. I think is maybe the best in this entire cornerback class. Speed for days. He can play press man. He can play zone. He can hang with anyone. I think he looks the part here. I say flip a coin between he and Sauce Gardner, which reminds me I made a graphic of my my cornerback rankings, but I can't see the what they are. No, that's running back. There we go. Yeah, so that's how I had them. Pretty interchangeable with those first two, and I think they're both top 7 players in this draft.
Okay, well, how does he compare to another LSU great, the Honey Badger?
Well, different positions, different teams around them. I think kind of similar skill sets in their athleticism and their explosiveness.
More what I was meaning, yeah.
Playmaking ability, I think it's there. I know there are some people whose opinions I trust that think Derek Stingley Jr. is the best defensive back to ever come out of LSU.
Okay.
So it's the injury concern. He didn't play for a while. It's the production concern. It dipped off from his freshman year when expectations were kind of sent through the roof. But I think all in all, I think this is still a really talented player that, if it makes you feel any better, and I'm not saying this as a sarcastic Titans fan that wants to see the Texans fail, but I think if the pick's going to be corner, I don't think you could have gone wrong with Stingley or Sauce Gardner.
I have the concerns. I think the talent is there. It's just with this player and Lovie Smith's Tampa 2 defense, I just don't see the fit initially. They might like his physical attributes. They might like what they see on the tapes. They might have an idea of what they want to put in schematic-wise, but right now, I just did not like this. But I will say this. Years ago, when I was young, I did not like when the Texans drafted J.J. Watt. I did not. That turned out pretty good. So I'm not saying I hope to be wrong or anything. I hope he is as good of a player as that 3rd overall pick of what they got right there. Because you have to hit on this, especially if you're picking a cornerback in the top 5. You've got to hit on this, because if you don't hit and then a lineman that goes in the next few picks before they pick at 13 goes and turns into a Pro Bowl caliber, maybe Hall of Fame potential lineman, then you're going to get badly looked at for years to come. And people's going to be like, oh, yeah, remember when the Texans selected a cornerback 3rd overall? They loved the potential. They loved it, but he never produced. So I fear that could happen here. I mean, he could be a shutdown corner. That'd be great. I'd be very happy. I'm rooting for him. Just right now, not a fan of this at all, especially where the Texans are right now as a team at that pick. If he was there at 13, I give more leeway, but at 3, I'm not a fan of it right now.
More importantly, what do we think of the new Jurassic World movie?
Stoked.
As long as it doesn't end with them sending the dinosaurs to space to fight the Fast and Furious cast, I'm cool.
You're not in for that.
No, I don't want Vin Diesel anywhere near a T-Rex.
Oh, they talked about, was it the studio that wanted a Jurassic Park Fast and Furious crossover? Am I remembering that correctly?
Correct, and they're also talking about Fast and the Furious in space as well.
I haven't seen the last one, but I remember seeing on Twitter that they actually went ahead and teased it, that they were going to take Fast and Furious into space.
I think the idea is like studios are trying to figure out some way to combat Disney and Marvel, and like, how can we make our IPs on the same level? Can we build a universe? And it's weird because
fucking luck is what I say.
Yeah, I mean, every studio, at least for the time being, or for a long time, is going to trail. They are going to absolutely trail behind Disney and Marvel. It doesn't matter how good your film is, who you have in it. I mean, for me, this Jurassic World Dominion movie, I love all the nostalgia. All the previews look great. They got the director who directed the first one back, Colin Trevorrow. I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be the biggest movie of the summer in terms of box office dollars. I think it's going to be bigger than Doctor Strange.
Really?
I think that nostalgia is just, it's going to reel people in.
A bit of a hot take there, Sean.
It wouldn't surprise. I think the entire summer 1-2 is going to be Jurassic World, Doctor Strange, or Doctor Strange 1, Jurassic World 2. I think it's apples and oranges.
Welcome to our NFL draft watch along. Which movie do you think is going to make more money this summer, Jurassic World or Doctor Strange?
So who are the Jets picking here?
I think if you're the Jets, I think, it's tough because I wouldn't have had Trayvon Walker going in the top 3. Now Kayvon Thibodeau's there and available. The Jets are kind of in a similar position to the Texans in that they need pieces everywhere. I think you could go Thibodeau here. I think you could go Sauce Gardner.
I think Sauce would be fairly good. I mean, what about protecting Zach Wilson?
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like, you get a guy in Evan Neal,
yes,
and you can put him either side of the line wherever you end up needing him based on what happens with Mekhi Becton.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go. The pick is in. Sauce Gardner. Yeah,
son of a bitch.
He's got the length. I mean, homeboy didn't allow a single touchdown his entire career in college. Really polished, refined, technically sound cornerback. I think, the nitpicks with him, I don't even know. I'd have to bring up my draft board. I had him ranked the 5th overall player in this draft. Long arms, technically sound, physical and press coverage. Yeah, watch the tape against Alabama and those Alabama receivers. This man is afraid of no one. He's got a really good, subtle nuance to his press game. He's savvy in rerouting receivers, using the sideline and other defenders to kind of leverage against them. I think this is a dominant cornerback. And yeah, the Richard Sherman comparisons, I see him with Sauce Gardner.
I think his personality, I think it fits well with New York. I think he'll be able to handle it.
Yeah.
I think he'll handle it well. And yeah, being with Robert Saleh, I think Robert Saleh, when Houston didn't draft Sauce Gardner, I bet he was doing cartwheels wherever.
Easy choice.
I'm going to play the fashion guru of the table here.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
When he comes up, you'll notice that beautiful slim suit he's wearing. But look for the the bling he's wearing. He's got a beautiful diamond encrusted sauce bottle hanging from his necklace.
That's just great branding.
And it's not a barbecue sauce. It's not, any kind of, hot sauce or anything. It's all purpose sauce because he can do everything on the field.
I like it. So the Giants are here at number 5. They worked out Charles Cross at right tackle. They seem satisfied with the results. Andrew Thomas played better down the stretch at left tackle. Do you go with the right tackle to bookend and protect Daniel Jones? In Charles Cross, I think he's my favorite tackle in this draft. I think he's the best pass protector. Brian Daboll's the head coach of the New York Giants now. There's going to be a high volume of passes in that offense. Pass protection's crucial. What are you thinking here, Steven? Do they go tackle or do you bite on Kayvon Thibodeau being there at 5?
No, you go Evan Neal.
You go Evan Neal because Steven's got the fucking bet.
Yes.
Got him under 5.5. Oh shit, this is your last chance at it.
This is my last chance. That's why they go Evan Neal. They're going to go Charles Cross
because
he's Mississippi State and I hate them.
I'm surprised that a tackle didn't go in the first 4 picks. 2 corners.
Biggest surprise. There must, especially back-to-back corners here.
Yeah.
Both Houston and New York probably feared that they weren't going to be there at their second first-round picks. And so they probably thought, well, we got to take them here because they're not going to be there when we pick again.
That complicates things for the Giants because their line of thinking was they're probably going to get one of these tackles and they're probably going to get whichever of these corners the Jets don't take.
It could possibility. I don't know the Giants offensive line off the top of my head, but they go Charles Cross and they pick 2 picks later. And they could get Neal if he's still there.
They could, yeah. And then just say, fuck Andrew Thomas altogether. Give up on the reclamation project.
4 picks, 4 defensive players. Who's going to be the first offensive player taken in this draft?
Oh, man. Oh, the pick is in.
I think Jamison Williams.
Jamison Williams.
For the Eagles.
Oh, okay.
At 8. There's that chain.
So a quote just came in from Derek Stingley, and he said, "To me, I always looked at Champ Bailey as someone I wanted to model my game after."
I see it.
I could see it. I mean, look, there's no doubting the potential with Derek Stingley Jr. I just think with the injuries and what we saw his freshman year.
If you get that guy, though,
everyone's going to look back on this pick and say, best pick of the draft. But I'm skeptical. I don't like this. Maybe I can be convinced over time. Maybe the Texans can put together like a rookie minicamp video and I get hype about it. But right now I'm not.
You know what you need to do? You just need to take a deep breath before you go to sleep tonight. You just pull up YouTube, watch some Derek Stingley Jr. highlights. And don't watch the stuff from 2019 or 2020 or whatever it was. Watch the recent stuff because that guy's still there.
Gotta hope so.
So now, Steven, let's revisit the question about the Saints packaging those picks to move up. It might not necessarily take moving into the top 5 to get your tackle of choice.
Yeah.
Is that decision starting to look a little more appetizing?
Yeah, but again, we've talked a lot off air about all these fan bases wanting their
Mel
teams,
Kiper sighting,
wanting their teams to move out of the top 10 and whatnot. You have to have a dance partner.
Yeah, that's true.
And at this point, I don't see the Giants moving again. We've already did one exchange with the Eagles already. I don't see that happening again. And I think the rest of the top 10 teams aren't moving. And I sure as hell don't think the Panthers are going to do business with us at 12.
I wouldn't think so, no.
They say they're not going to take a quarterback. I think they might be the one team in the first round that might take outside of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this next to Goodell?
Sam, if Neal is not on that card, I'm throwing you back into the water. And you look light enough that I could do it.
He looks like he's got a thick New York accent. I can just see it. Oh God! Now I feel like shit.
Oh, both of you.
Hey, you want to be bunkmates in hell?
Oh no!
Man.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch!
Oh geez! All right, so the pick is in.
Please be Evan Neal.
Yeah, they bit.
Wow.
They bit. I thought he was about to say the
Fucking-
New York fucking Giants. Kayvon Thibodeau, too good to resist there at number 5. I mean, I think the guy has the talent. He's explosive. He's twitchy. I think he's got the potential there. I don't know if the Giants were counting on him being there at 5, because I would have thought that they would have gone tackle, considering they've got a halfway decent defensive line. But man, this is just the rich getting richer as far as that position goes.
Yeah, I'm very shocked by this.
Yeah, I think the Giants just said, "Fuck, we don't care one bit about our quarterback and protecting him."
Maybe they're trying to run Daniel Jones out of town. They're like, we want to make him look as bad as possible so we can move on from him. So
didn't they just decline his 5th-year option?
Yeah, but then again, they pick again right after the Panthers too. So they're going to get a good tackle.
Shit, what if they pick Malik Willis 7th overall?
Well, I was going to ask if this is where I think we're going to see how this quarterback draft is going to go. If the Panthers take Malik Willis, I think you're going to see some teams scramble and say, "Oh, maybe these quarterbacks are going to go a little quicker than expected. Maybe we should, make some moves to get our guy." If they pass, I think we could start seeing these quarterbacks slide a little bit. To your point, though, Sean, I actually, in my batshit crazy mock draft that I did on the Sobros Patreon, I actually mocked Malik Willis to the Giants, because I think if anybody in the NFL can get the most out of his physical traits, I think it's Brian Daboll and company, because of what he did with Josh Allen coming out of Wyoming with the Buffalo Bills for so long. I think he's a good quarterback developer. And I think, it's probably going to be time to move on from Daniel Jones after the end of this season. So I wouldn't hate it. I'll just say that.
I mean, Daboll's going to want his guy. And
yeah.
I people make all these excuses about Daniel Jones. Look, it's just not there. Oh, man, I'm very excited for that kid. Man, I feel even worse now. But anyway.
As you should. As you should.
So going into this, we always know that the SEC rules college football.
Yes.
Did you have the over or under of the first 5 picks being at 2?
Wait, what? Run that by me again?
SEC picks in the top 5. There was only 2 of them. Usually they dominate the first round,
and
only 2 so far in the first 5.
I would have taken the over on that, thinking Evan Neal would have been one of them.
That makes 2 of us.
I thought the potential was there for Trayvon Walker to go number 1 overall. I thought Stingley would go higher than people expected him to. And then I would have thought Evan Neal would have been the first tackle off of the board. So now the Carolina Panthers.
He may still be, though.
Well, that's true, yeah. The Carolina Panthers have a decision to make. Do you have the faith in Sam Darnold to be their quarterback of the future, so to speak, or do you think they reset at the position here?
What are the Panthers going to do this year, regardless of who's quarterback?
Bad.
Yeah. So I think if you're wanting a quarterback, next year's the year.
Yeah.
And they'll be in contention for CJ Stroud or Bryce Young.
I mean, whatever with the draft next year, you'll have a new head coach, probably a new GM. Still a pretty. I don't think he's a good owner in Tepper, especially with that whole thing that's going on with their facility in the city right now. That whole debacle. There's a reason why these quarterbacks that we've seen throughout this offseason and was the previous year or two, that when Carolina has inquired, they're just like, no thanks.
Sean, I'm curious what your take on Kenny Pickett is, because Steven and I have had conversations about him. What do you think?
he might be. I mean, he might be a solid NFL quarterback. He's not a franchise guy. When I see Kenny Pickett, I don't see a franchise QB. Granted, I don't see a franchise QB in this draft anyway. But Kenny Pickett, I just don't see much there. I think the hand size thing is real. It's like the same thing with the quarterbacks and the height. I think the height thing is a real thing too.
Well, one thing that we noticed at the Senior Bowl and watching him work out that week, watching him play in the game and everything, he throws a really low ball. And that's just begging to get tipped in the NFL. Our buddy Charles Barnes pointed out on Twitter a few days ago, really good draft analyst, pointed out that wide receivers bailing Kenny Pickett out is all over his tape. And he has a good receiving core there in Pitt. I think there's some buyer beware with Kenny Pickett.
There is definitely. If you're drafting him in the first round, there is definitely buyer beware with it. I just don't. I mean, it's the same story with all these quarterbacks in the draft this year. These solid quarterbacks, maybe in the NFL, maybe some routine starter, regular starter, but no franchise label type starter there. There's just not there. And I mean, we get one of these every, I don't know how many years, probably like 6-7 years. We get one of these drafts where there's just not a franchise quarterback.
In 2013, EJ Manuel was the only quarterback taken in the first round.
Yeah, so I mean, we were bound. We were bound to have a goose egg year for quarterback in the draft, and next year I think it's going to be pretty good because who is he? You got Bryce Young,
C.J. Stroud.
There's
the kid from Virginia, the kid from Fresno State. I can't remember. There's like 6 guys that they think could be first rounders next year. So I don't know. I haven't dug into it a lot. I'm an Alabama fan on Saturdays, so I watched a lot of Bryce Young this year, and I think he looks like the real deal. So good option there.
We said before we went live that there's so many free agent quarterbacks that I think are better than what you're ever going to find in this year's draft.
Yeah, and like looking back now too, especially with Houston, because last year's draft, Texans, of course, didn't have a pick until the 3rd round. And then when they drafted Davis Mills, quarterback, I'm like, why are they wasting their first pick with the brand new GM on a quarterback for your first pick? But, you know, no matter what happens the rest of Davis Mills' career, if he turns out bad this season or just becomes decent, that pick, 3rd round, is going to look like a home run draft pick just because of what he was able to do, especially in that first year there. I mean, even if he's just part of what is a bridge to the next person, that pick right there is great. So, I mean, I'm glad he decided to come out and get drafted last year because, like we were saying, he probably was going to be the first, second quarterback taken.
I just saw who the Panthers take.
Oh, did you?
Do you want to spoil it for us?
The defensive run is over.
They take one of the tackles.
They did.
I'm gonna guess they took Ekwonu.
You are correct, sir.
It's the ground and pound kind of, you know, they got to have a good run game to support Sam Darnold and Christian McCaffrey and all that.
Man, the absolute worst thing, and I am so glad this whole Deshaun Watson saga is over, because when you had those 4 rumored teams, every time Panthers were mentioning something with Deshaun Watson, everyone's like, "Oh, just trade Christian McCaffrey." It's like, this isn't Madden where you play on rookie and franchise.
Man, if the Giants don't take Charles Cross here, what are we even doing?
This is a good pick.
This is a good pick.
This is a good pick for next year's head coach for Carolina.
You watch this dude's tape, man. Motherfuckers just bounce off of him. It's incredible.
I like a lot about him.
Yeah.
I like the motor on him. He's a pretty good run blocker. And just personality-wise, not just in Houston, but I think he fits anywhere. And this is a great pick. This is a great, great pick.
I think these 3 tackles atop the draft, it's really interesting how they're all 3 so good in their own ways. Like, you have Ike Ekwonu, who's kind of this, punishing mauler. Like I said, people just bounce off this guy when he blocks them. But then you have Charles Cross, who's more of a glider that gets set in pass pro really good. Of course, you play for a Mike Leach offense, you ain't going to be run blocking a whole hell of a lot, but I think the potential's there for him, but really good pass protector. And then you have Evan Neal, who's kind of this technically sound, kind of hodgepodge, can do jack of all trades, kind of do a lot of different things well. So it's really interesting because I think the philosophy behind your offense comes into play more than the talent on the field in a situation like this. Like, I don't know that the Giants would want Ekwonu the way that they're going to pass the ball, right? And so on. Look at this. This is insane. He just mows people down. I love it. I love watching Ike Ekwonu highlights.
This is a good pick for the Panthers in the sense this is a player the franchise fans can get behind.
Yeah,
because he played at NC State, but he was also born in Charlotte.
I mean, this is I cannot overstate how great of a pick this is. I mean, you got to wonder, did Matt Rule think like there was fire under his ass, and he was like, I better get this right. I could be gone after the season, even though I likely will be, and I'll get another large buyout.
I think this is probably my favorite pick of the night so far.
It's definitely mine. I didn't think he would get to 6. I did not think. I thought he was going to go in the top 5 somewhere. Him getting to 6 just fell in their lap. This is one of those players that just falls in their lap, and it's weird that he slides.
Yeah. So we've got the Giants on the clock now, 3.5 minutes left to go. And then you have the Atlanta Falcons on the clock, who are in like a full-on rebuild right now. They could have their pick of the litter at wide receiver if they want, or they could take one of these tackles, either Cross or Neal, and then you still have edge guys like Jermaine Johnson available as well. What do you think the Falcons will be thinking there with a lot of needs?
The Falcons are in a similar position as Houston in that they have needs everywhere. Everywhere. And so I've been seeing the mock to pick a wide receiver, and I'm just thinking, okay, I get it. Like Julio Jones, gone 2 years.
They need somebody.
Calvin Ridley, he's all but gone from the franchise after his suspension. I don't see the need right now to get a wide receiver if I'm in their position, because no offense to Marcus Mariota, I think he is going to be a good fit in Atlanta for them rebuilding, but them getting a wide receiver this high up, I don't see it. I do not see it right now for them. So
fair enough. Yeah. I don't know that there's any, and I see Mel's best available. He has Garrett Wilson, the third best available.
Oh man, Kyle Hamilton's still there. Let's go, Houston.
Oh man. If they get him at 13,
man, I'll be so happy. That'll make up for the third overall pick.
Stingley and Hamilton next to each other.
Man, that would be great. Then you could probably convince me that the Derek Stingley pick was a good pick there, if it works out that way. But I don't know. A lot of people think that Kyle Hamilton's going to fall to 11 at Washington at this point. But we'll see.
See what we have. I think our stream's having some trouble on. No, we're live. We're live on Twitter. That freaked me out a little bit.
I have a feeling the Giants did what I thought they were going to do.
What did you think they were going to do? I don't remember.
So the 2 offensive linemen.
Wow.
I wish they'd have just switched them. Then I would be up money.
I mean, that's got to be.
It's like people don't realize we don't have a production team. I'm doing all the producing while we're on the air too. So
I stand correct because they did not go offensive linemen at that.
They went Kayvon.
Yeah.
Pick is in. Okay, it's not a bad pick.
It was just too late.
Oh man, if they had picked him at 5, that's a good haul for the Giants.
Yeah, it is.
Personally, I would have liked Charles Cross, but if they believe that Andrew Thomas can be the left tackle, Evan Neal is the guy that has the experience at right tackle, right? If you work Charles Cross out at right tackle, Evan Neal's the guy that has actually played it in his collegiate career, really, really talented offensive lineman. Steven, what do you like about this pick?
I've been screaming his praises since the national championship, not national championship, but the playoffs.
Yeah.
And before the way they dominated Georgia in that
the SEC championship. Yeah.
Man, I think this is a huge pickup for the Giants. I still somehow think they're going to find a way to fuck this franchise up as they continuously do every year.
Oh, they absolutely do.
But they are 2 for 2 in this year's draft so far.
Yeah, this is a good haul. And in Neal, you just look at his build, like guys that slim should not, or I'm sorry, guys that big should not look that slim. Like he looks like an oversized tight end.
Yeah.
But he is incredibly powerful on the offensive line. This is a guy that is so athletic that he just teleports into gaps and just blows open run lanes. So great pick for the New York Giants. Yeah, I mean, he's a massive individual, but he's built like a tight end. It's crazy, man. This guy is scary athletic. Sean, what do you think of the Giants going with Evan Neal here?
I think it's a good pick, but I have to ask this, and I want to get y'all's thoughts on this. What do you think of and I don't know if necessarily Evan Neal and any offensive lineman from Alabama would fall under this, or just them, but anyone in the SEC lineman, the wear and tear that comes from SEC offensive linemen transitioning to the NFL. Because I forget who it was I was listening to this week, that there's that thought that there's already more wear and tear on linemen coming from the SEC because the competition that they're playing.
It's just big dudes beating on big dudes for 4 years. Yeah.
And not translating as well to the NFL. I mean, do y'all think that's a real thing, or do you think it's just more of just whatever?
Maybe with certain players, depending on the school they go to. But I think with Alabama, I mean, yeah, you're playing the best of the best in the SEC. But let's be honest, not every team in the SEC is the best of the best.
Right.
I do feel like Alabama specifically has a pretty good track record with offensive linemen holding up in the NFL. I hadn't heard that before. I have heard with Evan Neal, some people comparing him to Greg Robinson, the tackle that came out of Auburn several years ago. That was a highly touted prospect. I think he was one of the first 3 picks in the draft, and then just a total bust, but played a similar game to Neal. I've seen that comparison, which would be another SEC tackle, but I don't know, Sean. I think I'd have to sit and think about that one for a little bit, because I'm trying to think of, okay, what are the recent offensive tackles from the SEC that have gone early in the drafts, and where are they at now? And I'm just drawing a blank. Maybe it's the gin and tonic. I don't know.
Maybe I can't remember. It might be. I could be wrong. But my favorite podcast, the GM Shuffle with Michael Lombardi.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, he's a straight shooter, and he's been in the business for years. He's been in front offices, worked with the Raiders, worked closely with Al Davis, worked with Bill Belichick. It might have been him that was talking about it, but I got to remember where that was. But when I first heard that, I was like, that actually. I think that actually does play. And I remember, too, when Greg Robinson got drafted.
Yeah.
People were over the moon about this guy.
Yeah.
And then he just...
He fizzled out in a hurry.
How excited is Saquon Barkley right now?
Oh, I thought that was an actual trade.
No trades. No, they're reliving the Falcons, the Matt Ryan trade.
Anyway, sorry. Didn't mean to.
I don't remember what I was even going to say.
I was talking about Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley, yeah. Man, that's a guy that I know Giants fans are really hoping can get going and finally getting to it and living up to his draft billing, because that was a guy that was supposed to be a generational running back taken second overall. I mean, how crazy does it sound these last few years for a running back to be taken that high in the draft?
Yeah,
right.
That's wild. So we think the Falcons could go wide receiver here.
They have their pick of the litter. They officially have their pick of the litter. I don't think I would go with one here. I think I would go with Charles Cross, or maybe even Jermaine Johnson.
That's
get some pass rush help.
That's the thing with Atlanta. They need protection on the line. They need that. Start building on that.
Here we go.
Oh my God. Here we go. First wide receiver off the board. Is this the best wide receiver for y'all in the draft?
No,
I don't think it
Not
is.
even close.
No. I think I had him at 4th. I like Drake London. Don't get me wrong. It's unfair to compare this kid to Mike Evans because Mike Evans is a freak of nature.
And he's a future Hall of Famer.
He's a future Hall of Famer. I'm with you there. I've contended for years that Mike Evans is criminally underrated in the grand scheme of NFL history. What I like about Drake London, I think he is a good 50-50 contested catch guy. I think he's a really savvy route runner, and he's underrated in that regard. People act like all he can do is go up and get the high ball, but he the Vincent Jackson comparison, I can see that. Yeah, it's the first thing they show about Drake London, the 50-50 ball. But I think he's really nuanced in his route running, and particularly how he manipulates defensive backs at the line of scrimmage. He's a big juke guy, but it's like right off the snap. And I think that gets defensive backs in bad positioning against him where he's able to get the route he wants uncontested. That's how he creates separation in the NFL. He is not a pure speed guy. He's not going to separate down the field. And I think those are legitimate concerns when you start talking about going up against better competition on a regular basis. I like Drake London. I've said for weeks now, this is a great draft to be looking for wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3. I don't know that there is any wide receiver 1 in this draft class. Drake London potentially could be that guy, but I think there are other wide receivers with more explosive skill sets than he has.
Didn't Drake London have ankle issues, or am I thinking of the wrong receiver here?
Are you thinking about Jamison Williams with the ACL tear?
No, I want to say –
I know Drake London didn't do any drills at his pro day or didn't run at the combine and didn't test, and everybody thinks it's because he knows he would test poorly and didn't want to affect his draft stock. But I don't know. I can't think of it. I got to be honest. I think if I were the Falcons, if I were going to go wide receiver there, I think I would have rolled the dice on Jamison Williams because I think he's going to end up being the best wide receiver to come out of this class. I think if he comes back from his ACL tear, which is totally feasible in 2022, it's not the injury that it was 10 years ago. I think if he can be the same guy he was before the injury, I think he will be far and away the best wide receiver out of this draft class. So,
there's absolutely no doubt about that.
Interesting pick.
I mean, if Jamison Williams didn't tear his ACL, he could have been a top 5 pick, I bet.
I would agree with that. Yeah. To me, I look at Jamison Williams and I see his former teammate Jalen Waddle. I think he can be that good. Seattle here with 5 minutes to go before their pick. Another team that's kind of in rebuild mode. Do they look at a quarterback here with Malik Willis still available?
The latest, I had just seen this from a couple blue check marks, was that Seattle was desperately trying to trade down. Desperately. And
acquire picks because they've got a big rebuild ahead of them.
So I don't know where you go or what direction you go in here. I mean, I'm never going to doubt Pete Carroll, though. I know people have been giving shit to Pete Carroll recently, but
I love me some Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll's a great guy. I mean, he's a great human being, a great leader. Who gives a shit about what happened at USC? I mean, he is a
or what
great
happened
coach.
on the final play of that Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Or that. Yeah, we got to work that in.
I mean, they
too.
have 8 picks in this draft, and 4 of them are in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah. Seattle also a team that is kind of known for oddly reaching for guys in the first round, too. They take, I can't remember, is like the 6th ranked linebacker in the first round a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now that you mention it.
But it's different. You know, they're not usually picking in the top 10. So I'll be interested to see where this pick goes.
They need defensive end help, offensive line help, and an edge rusher are their 3 biggest needs in this draft. And we've already had a run on some of those positions already. So the picking's getting a little slim.
Yeah. Could they be looking for a wide receiver to add more weapons here? Could they be looking at Charles Cross, the offensive tackle?
Who's going to throw them the ball right now?
Drew Lock. Drew Lock, baby. It's Drew Lock time in Seattle.
Sure it is.
So speaking, we mentioned Drew Lock. So, what about the unresolved, or the quarterbacks with the unresolved destinations or unknown future destinations with Jimmy Garoppolo and Baker Mayfield? Are we thinking? I mean, definitely Baker Mayfield. I think they're going to have to wind up cutting him.
I think, and you know what? I think that's why nobody's trading for him, is because I think teams know that. I think teams know that the Browns aren't going to pay all of these quarterbacks. They have 5 quarterbacks on the roster now?
Yeah.
Because they traded for Deshaun Watson. They had Baker Mayfield. They acquired Jacoby Brissett too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And then there's another one there. Josh Dobbs. Yeah.
And then on top of that, you've got where before the Deshaun Watson trade became official, that they leaked to the media that Baker Mayfield's a child.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got that too. So they're kind of backed in a corner, and I just don't see how I don't see how they can convince a team to even trade a day 3 pick for him.
Yeah,
I think he's going to get released. I think at this point he's going to get released.
Yeah, and I think maybe Seattle, somebody picks him up. Then they court him. They make an offer. I did have Drake London as number 4 on my big board of wide receivers. Jamison Williams number 1. I really love Treylon Burks. If he ends up a Titan tonight, I will be ecstatic. And then Chris Olave. I know. Look, none of these wide receivers in this class, much like the quarterback class, come without their question marks. But I think what Chris Olave does well is a particularly valuable skill set to an NFL offense. Best route runner in the draft, elite burning speed, could be a weapon for somebody.
And I think the Saints have him in their sights as well.
Yeah. I think it would make an awful lot of sense for him to end up in New Orleans.
With Mayfield getting cut, I think eventually, that leaves Garoppolo and him as the 2 front runners for a team like Seattle. And I see Jimmy G as a good fit for that team.
That would be
I would agree. Yeah.
They were Michael Lombardi on his draft episode, or the one before, on the GM
Mel
Shuffle.
Kiper sighting.
He was Michael Lombardi was saying that the word from what was it, what recent meet were there GM meetings?
The coaches meetings.
Well, the coaches meetings, and I think most of the GMs went to those.
It's
the word around was that Lynch was going around and asking if anyone wanted Jimmy G.
Interesting.
So that's what he had heard from a couple of teams, that 49ers went around and asked if anyone wanted Jimmy G.
You know, I mean, it could be a similar thing where teams know these guys are going to end up cut. And they're just like, why give something up when we can just wait and try to court them? But then, I mean, that sounds good, but then you run the risk of the player picking another team.
Right. And then
here we go. The pick is in for the Seahawks.
And then I've got some breaking news after this.
There it is.
Oh, I didn't mean to bang the table. Charles Cross, my guy, OT1 to me.
Like that.
Steven, you have some breaking news. It
has been reported that just prior to the draft, that Trayvon Walker was in a car accident.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Is he okay?
Ian Rappaport is reporting that.
Is he okay?
It appears so, but that's the most Jags thing that could happen.
Man.
It may have just been a simple fender bender for all we know. I don't have the details on it, but that came across the timeline, and I thought that was intriguing.
Yeah, I don't see it. I did see, per ESPN stats and info, new Jags defensive end Trayvon Walker is the first player selected first overall in the common draft era that never made an all-conference or all-American team in college.
Wow.
I'm telling you, man, I don't love that pick. I mean, I love it because I'm a Titans fan, right? But I see my buddy Phil of they just rebranded their podcast. I don't want to mislabel it. Touchdown Jaguars podcast.
What's the vibe on them?
I'll have to ask him what he thinks of it, because he's apparently on a media call with Trayvon Walker right now, live tweeting it. Let's see what We'll see if Phil has any immediate thoughts on it. Let me just scroll his feed live here.
This is funny. One of my favorite Texans reporters, manager for the Texans wire, Mark Lane, he just tweeted out, so Sam Darnold gets Equanu and Drew Lock gets Charles Cross. That's like when the puppy kid at your high school gets a brand new Mustang from his parents.
That's all I have.
He emerged unscathed. Damn. That's going to be one of those things like you sit back at the end of the night and process.
Yep.
Shit.
But good pick for Seattle there.
Great pick for Seattle. I mean, yeah.
Another one of those that fell in their lap because I thought he was going to go in the top 6, 7 picks.
Yeah.
So New York, are they going to select a wide receiver here? And if they do, who is going to be that wide receiver?
I mean, I know who I would pick. I would take Jamison Williams here if I were the Jets. Three OTs in the top 10, man. I'm telling you, that's a steal for Seattle there. That was an easy choice for a team. A lot of holes, but had to rebuild in the trenches as well. I think they may have just gotten themselves the best quarterback. They're going to play Charles Cross at quarterback. That's right. The best offensive tackle in this draft.
I love that all Russell Wilson wanted was some help.
And then they get it.
Gone, they get him help.
Oh, man. That's a good point.
Does Garrett Wilson go here?
Could be.
Pick is in.
What does Washington do here? Washington could go quarterback.
Well, everything I have seen mock-wise has had Kyle Hamilton going to Washington Commanders, which,
man,
if they had the opportunity to trade up into the top 10, I would say get the number 9 pick from Seattle or swap with Seattle and get Kyle Hamilton because I think Kyle Hamilton's going to go 11 here if he doesn't go 10 to Jets. But we'll see. But then again, Kyle Hamilton could also go 12 in Minnesota because they needed a cornerback. They need some defensive back help. And I don't think Kyle Hamilton's going to be there at 13 for Houston.
You see Minnesota, they could use some edge help. Jermaine Johnson's still on the board.
That would be another guy. If Houston,
Jordan Davis, another guy we haven't talked about yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. See, this is good for Houston because if they can get either Jordan Davis, Johnson, or Kyle Hamilton at pick 13, I'll be pretty happy with that. But
Yeah.
watch those three go in
They'll be the next three picks. Yeah.
God's plan. That's the first time I've heard them talk about Deebo Samuel since the draft started. So is this Deebo Samuel thing going to continue to be in limbo? Do you think San Francisco is going to work things out?
I don't know. Garrett Wilson.
Wearing a suit that Dion would love.
I don't love that pick for the Jets, but to answer your question, I think San Francisco is going to try and get Deebo to come back to reconcile this, whatever the issue is, whether it's, the volume. The rumor was that he was concerned about how much they were using him and the longevity of his career and everything. It feels like that's something that can be worked out. And it sounds like John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan definitely want to get it worked out. So it's just a matter of, getting it done, getting in there and getting it done. This situation, though, the Jets going for Garrett Wilson here benefits the Texans, Sean, because of what you were talking about. They're going to have a good option on the defensive side of the ball if that's where they want to go here.
And me personally, I'm glad that Garrett Wilson went right here because that was the other talk the past couple of days was that Houston was over the moon about Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
And it was reported by Albert Breer. It was reported by Peter King. So him getting picked already is great because I just with Garrett Wilson, I think he can be a solid wide receiver 2 or 3 in the NFL, but top half of the draft, I wouldn't.
I get why people like him, but I don't. My problem with Garrett Wilson, I think his best trait is his ability to separate, but I just he looks really good at everything, but I don't know if he's great at any one thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
fair.
I don't know that I look at Garrett Wilson, all due respect to Garrett Wilson, and I think special. That's a special receiver. I do think that about Jamison Williams, and I do think that's the type of receiver that the Jets needed. So interesting. Oh, boy.
Oh, wow.
The
Saints! The Saints are on the clock.
I have no idea what we're going to do here. Do we go Kyle Hamilton?
They might have traded up for Olave, seeing these receivers go.
I don't know, man. Which one did we trade, though? 14 or 16?
Or did they trade up to get Penning with all 3 tackles off the board?
I mean, we got 16 and 19 is what I meant.
So they move up at least 5 picks.
Yeah. I mean, if it's Trevor Pennington, I'm all on board on this.
Ooh. I'm
because I was just literally thinking if Washington doesn't take Hamilton, who do they take? With their biggest need is a DB.
Oh man.
I'm just constantly refreshing my Twitter to see what the trade compensation is here.
So New Orleans is now picking at number 11. I don't know why. I just got so fucking excited by that. I love the trades.
Trades are great for the NFL draft.
So this is the second move in the first round the Saints have made.
Yeah.
This draft.
They're wheeling and dealing this year.
So maybe you can help better explain this than any podcast I've listened to, McCash. What was the reason for the trade with the Eagles?
I have no idea.
No one knows.
It seemed to be, I couldn't get a clear grasp on who the real winner of it was. I think maybe a slight edge to New Orleans, but it didn't seem any clear cut.
The only rationale. Oh, go ahead, Sean. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
The only rationale I saw out there was that New Orleans was really high on one of these 3 tackles, and they wanted them to replace Teron Armstead, and they felt like if they got those 2 picks together and the opportunity presented itself, that would have been enough to trade up and get one of those tackles. But as we saw, it didn't happen, and now you're left with 2 picks, and you still have that sort of wiggle room with those picks where if you want to trade up like this, you could.
This is the first pick in the Dennis Allen regime, so
that it is.
And he's a defensive coach, but the only logic to move up is to go offense. So
one would think,
this.
And just think, well,
are they going Malik Willis?
We'll be thinking here where we're thinking the Saints are playing checkers. The Saints are actually playing chess.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah,
they're a winning franchise.
We've proved we can beat Tom Brady. He hasn't beat us in the regular season.
4-0.
4-0 in the regular season, 0-1 in the playoffs. But we don't talk about that.
No.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Just raise that regular season.
We don't talk about playoffs.
So you look at the teams that they leapfrogged to get this. Philadelphia, Baltimore, Houston, Minnesota. None of those are quarterback needy teams. I don't think this is going to be a move for Malik Willis. But
you could have gotten
Steven, I think you look at a guy like Trevor Penning with those 3 tackles off the board, Trevor Penning, the best tackle remaining, and then you look at Baltimore right there at 14. You look at the Chargers at 18. The Chargers have been linked to Trevor Penning this whole time. Hell, even the Eagles could have taken an offensive lineman. The Texans with going Derek Stingley with their first pick. Offensive line was still on the table there. I would be willing to bet that they're gonna get Penning here.
I agree, and I even said at the onset of this when you asked me who I thought, Penning was the first name off the board for me, and I thought so. Only also not that we don't need him, but the Chargers needs that same type of help, and they're right
yes,
behind
they do.
us. So if we didn't, they were.
So the trade is confirmed. The Commanders are trading the 11th overall pick to the Saints for the 16th pick, the 98th overall pick, and the 120th pick in this draft.
Ooh, that is some draft capital.
So there must be someone
draft.
on their board. I'm like, we got to get this guy right now.
Do or die.
It's got to be Trevor.
Hey, that will be pretty cool though if we end up seeing your team pick your guy from Mobile
I
in the
talked
Senior
about
Bowl
him while
week.
we were down there. I even wrote a story about him headlining WrestleMania one day.
You did.
Did they have a Let's Go Pelicans thing in there? Are they in the playoffs?
Yeah.
They are in the playoffs? Yeah. Is Zion still playing?
I couldn't tell you. I don't follow him.
No, he's out.
I only follow Memphis.
Yeah, I'm a Grizzlies. Celtics and Grizzlies are my two teams. So
how many times have y'all watched that dunk from Ja Morant? I've watched it probably 100 times.
It's phenomenal. Brother Head comments on YouTube, late to the stream, but did Sean in fact scream at the Stingley pick?
I don't know if scream is the word.
Well, he did it away from the mic, so we'll give him credit for that. I definitely felt like there was some internal battling there. And outspoken Owen here. Owen couldn't be with us tonight. He's working, but he would also like to know if Sean screamed.
That man is always working.
He is.
Owen and I are seeing the new Doctor Strange Monday.
Monday?
Nice.
Oh, is he? Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to ask.
He's my +1.
He's your +1. Okay. Yeah. You smell what I'm putting. You smell what I'm cooking there. Yeah.
And
today
when
does that actually release? Is it next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there is a new preview or at least a new TV ad that has shown a couple of cool things, and I'm like, they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna nail it.
Are these more Make-A-Wish kids for you guys to make fun of?
I don't know, but why is there a Chiefs fan up there while the Saints are announcing their pick?
Owen said gonna get strange with Sean on Monday.
Hell yeah. Gonna go to the local TGI Fridays and
hell yeah.
Time.
The local, the only one.
Burn $25,000 like Vince Young used to do back in the day.
Oh my God, that's right.
Make the pick. Goodell, come on.
Can we get
it's the most excitement we've had all night.
So the Texans are likely going to get one of these players that I really like that might be there at 13, pending on what happens here and at 12.
If they get Kyle Hamilton at 13,
I'm going to be ecstatic.
That's fucked up.
The report I just
12
saw
teams done fucked up.
I saw about the pick makes no fucking sense to me. I'm hoping this is wrong.
So you guys stay off Twitter. That's
so this is the prime push in or whatever that they were talking about, because they got the rights to the Thursday night football game now. And then they're potentially going to get the Black Friday game is being discussed.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, Amazon has been talking with the NFL. The NFL did something recently.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Let's run on receivers.
There's a possibility of another trade coming.
Man, we're getting out of fucking hand here. Somebody,
so
we need to calm down, NFL.
Y'all saw the recent thing about Sunday Ticket, where it might be going, right?
No.
Apple.
I have it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm right there with it. But I also have a good app that I use that I just stream directly to my Apple TV. That it does the trick, and it's free $99.
There you go.
But if Apple gets Sunday Ticket, that'll be huge for Apple.
Yeah, it will be.
I like their presentation.
And their original programming is some of the best in streaming.
Oh,
yeah. I hate this pick.
Really? Man, that's what I'm saying. They saw this run on receivers going. I love Olave for that offense. I think it's a good pick. I don't know. You mortgage 3 draft picks for him, but Man, the missing piece in the passing game.
I had Olave going at 19.
Yeah.
With Penning going at 16.
So your issue is with giving up the draft capital to get him?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Chris Olave. We'll revisit my wide receiver rankings here. Those are offensive tackles. I should have named the photos. Instead, they're just all screenshots.
Would you have gone him or Jamison Williams?
If I'm the Saints, I think I might have gone Olave because of his specific skill set. Like I said, I feel like he's got a very specific skill set that fits well.
Trade.
Holy shit.
Detroit.
That's what I thought I saw.
Sorry, I didn't mean
no fucking way. What the fuck is happening here, boys?
We're off the
Sorry,
rails.
We are off the rails.
I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, I wasn't saying that to you. I was saying what the fuck to Detroit. Like, are they about to trade up and get shit? Did they just trade up for Kyle Hamilton?
Do not. Don't you fucking dare.
No. We're gonna.
Oh, that hat is hideous.
So I gotta jot down Chris Olave, and then. So what is this? The 12th overall?
Okay.
Yeah.
So him and can't guard Mike, if he's healthy.
That's a good
dangerous
combo.
Duo.
That's a good combo. But to your point, to your concern, if you will, you give up those draft picks, third rounder. That's no light compensation in this draft.
No, true, but the Saints don't need a lot to contend for the NFC South or a playoff spot.
Yeah, that's true. Needed some juice in that passing game, and I think, man, Olave is a guy that they can line up inside, outside, all over the formation. He's going to run a really good route. He is an explosive deep threat. I mean, you look at those like prime Drew Brees Saints passing offenses, Olave would have been the perfect shiny new toy for Sean Payton in that age.
I'm really going to miss Sean Payton this year. But the Lions aren't fucking around. They got that pick in quick.
I just saw what it was. I'm not going to spoil it, but I got to say, they're going to be in a rebuild probably for another couple of years, but this pick right here, this is for the future, and I really, really like it a lot. Y'all will see this.
The girl in the green dress doesn't look like she's happy to be there.
No.
All right, well, I'm not going to look at Twitter then.
Like I said, I like this pick for the future for Detroit. This is now. Then again, we don't know what they traded to get up to 12, but
True.
I like it for the future alone.
I just at this point when the trades start happening, you start to look at like who's sliding that somebody would want to trade up to get, and
do they go quarterback?
And that's I'm thinking like,
we just got another trade. Houston just traded their 13th pick, according to Ian Rappaport 30 seconds ago. Man, I wanted Kyle Hamilton. Sorry.
So you're saying the Lions did not take Kyle Hamilton?
No.
Who did Houston trade to?
Philadelphia.
Oh.
That was the Saints' original pick?
That's the 13th pick was originally the Cleveland Browns pick.
Okay.
Oh, did the Lions trade up for Jamison Williams?
I don't know.
For the future?
Man, I got to tell you, this run of wide receivers right now is insane. I didn't expect it. And I guess just Atlanta was like, we're going to start a fire right now.
I mean, they were saying up to 6 wide receivers could go in this first round.
Well, they said 7. That's what we were trying to figure out in the pre-draft thing, because we said
that's right, you count them off. London,
Olave, Wilson, Burks. Who am I missing? Jamison Williams, Drake London.
There's the trade.
Okay.
Texans get, for the 13th pick, they get the 15th pick. So a couple picks from now. Picks 124, 162, and 166 from Philadelphia. So we'll see.
That's a haul.
Yeah.
But in this draft, what does that equal?
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, like, my position on this draft is that, well, hang on, we'll see the pick. Yeah, they ain't fucking around.
I mean,
that's a good pick.
For the
that's
future,
a good pick.
That's a really, really good pick.
So I think
they got Jared Goff. Is that right?
Jared Goff, yeah, for now, which I think if you look at the way Jared Goff finished the season for Detroit, I think he was a little underrated. I could definitely see this regime being like, hey, we're going to roll with Goff for one more year.
Yeah.
We're going to stockpile some talent around this offense for whoever the next quarterback is going to be.
I mean, he knows how to win. He's won in the playoffs before, been to a Super Bowl. So, I mean, that's a good fit for a young receiving core to play with.
Yeah.
So the Lions traded their 32nd, 34th, and 66th pick to the Vikings to get Jamison Williams and pick 46.
The Vikings are the winner in that. I think.
Yeah.
100% on that.
So what I was saying, talking about what the mid-round draft picks are worth, I think in this draft, you're looking at a first round that isn't typically as good as other first rounds are, but this draft to me is 5 rounds deep with guys that are going to contribute in the NFL. And I think that's what teams are looking at when they're valuing these mid-round picks in this year's draft, is that this looks like a round where maybe the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th rounds are a lot stronger than those rounds would be in other years.
True.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You go.
I was just going to say, this is a draft where teams in the next 2 to 3 years are building their depth charts.
Yeah.
With players from this.
Yeah. And like, I think it was Carolyn Fenton of 1025 the game or whatever that tweeted not too long ago, like the sense is like teams are stocking up the cupboard for next year's quarterback draft.
Mm-hmm. And I think the top end talent is thinner in recent, and it's not just because the quarterback crop this year is not good. It's just the top end talent is not what we've seen in recent years. And this will happen with the draft every now and then, but it's those players that'll go later in the draft, the days 2, the day 3s, especially. Those will be the ones where you will find those hidden gems.
Yeah.
Where you can find a lot of talent.
This is a really good, a really deep wide receiver class, a good deep tight end class, offensive line, cornerback is really good. You're gonna get, I tell you, man, a 3rd round pick in this year's draft, I think is a starter.
Do you have any top sleepers?
Top sleepers, any position in particular?
Just overall.
I really like Cole Strange, a guy that we scouted in Mobile.
Who the Saints have an eye at for a late round pick.
Met with the Titans as well.
Yeah.
I like Darian Kennard as a pure right tackle. Running backs, I look at Rashad White, Tyler Beatty, 2 more guys we watched and scouted in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. Man, I could go. I like Jalen Tolbert, wide receiver. I like
Perrion Winfrey is another one that's
Perrion Winfrey. Yeah, I think people are sleeping on Perrion Winfrey. I have him top 5 edge rushers in this draft class. I like him a lot more than I like David Ajabo, who is a consensus first rounder. I like him more than Boye Mafe that a lot of people like.
Another one that I haven't heard a lot of talk about since we were at the Senior Bowl is Kobe
Greg
Bryant.
Dulcich. That's who I was going to say. Yeah, Kobe Bryant. Mm-hmm.
So Twitter right now, especially it looks like Eagles Twitter, is very confused by this trade they just made up to get the 13, because they said unless they're picking the quarterback, what Philadelphia just gave up makes no sense.
What did they give up?
They gave up they exchanged their 15th pick for the 13th pick. And then they also gave up that 124, 162, and 166 this year.
Holy shit.
So I guess the thought is I don't know if they're going to pick a quarterback here, but I don't know. See, is Malik Willis, if he is the pick there, I haven't looked to see Twitter yet, but if he is the pick there, is he honestly much better than Jalen Hurts?
I would take Jalen Hurts over Malik Willis this year anyway. This year. Yeah.
But we did like what we saw from him down in Mobile.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look who just came down.
Oh, we got Bucky coming down the stairs. You gonna come say hello, or you gotta go poop? You gonna go eat?
But Ohio State, the first team with back-to-back selections.
Bless you, Sean.
Thank you. That's I saw colleague the brand Braden Gall put out. Did you see his tweet about these wide receivers from Ohio State going out?
No, I didn't.
Let me pull it up. Oh, by the way,
I'm afraid to refresh Twitter because I don't want the pick spoiled for me.
Yeah, I'm refraining from it until the pick actually gets in now. So I've learned my lesson with the Derek Stingley. But our friend of Sobros Network, F Words. Did you see their new show launched today?
Yeah.
A football show. I like it. I like the name of that.
Oh, are you watching it too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I watched it too. Yeah, I think Zach's great. I think Braden's great. I think those two natural chemistry. I thought the show, it felt effortless, like just real, genuine football talk.
It was just unfortunate for me because I was excited when they announced it. It was going to be at 1:00 today. And I was like, that's awesome. I'm excited. But I have a monthly meeting on the fourth Thursday every month.
Oh,
I missed it, and I was upset about it because I listened to all the 440 Sports podcasts.
Yeah, 440 is great.
And but anyway, Braden Gall said Ohio State just had 2 wide receivers drafted in the top 11, and neither was the best wide receiver on their own team. See Jackson Smith. I'm going to butcher his last name, so I'm not even going to say it.
Njigba?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the kid that had like 300 yards in a game.
Check that out.
It's good. The ice on Sauce Gardner is legit. It's stone cold.
A Houston jeweler did that. I saw.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know. I guess Texans Twitter knows everything. Well, I guess you would expect so in the city of Houston, but they know about everything, literally everything, even if it's a player that doesn't even play in Houston.
So the Texans get the 15th, a 4th rounder, and 2 5th-round picks.
I like this a lot.
Yeah.
For Houston, because if Philadelphia is not picking Kyle Hamilton, if Philadelphia and Baltimore, if they don't pick Kyle Hamilton or Johnson from FSU,
there's a chance that they still land in Houston. Yeah.
Man.
And Jordan Davis is still available too.
And Jordan Davis. And they need a rusher. They need a pass rusher badly. And I think Jordan Davis opposite Jonathan Grenard, I think would be great.
Oh, what's the matter, Bucky? Is it time to?
It
might
just
be time
dawned
to feed
on
him.
me that the Saints wide receivers 1 and 2 are both Buckeyes.
Both Buckeyes, yeah.
We're just going to be the New Orleans Buckeyes for the next couple of years.
They say the Texans are on the clock right now at pick 15, and we're still here at 13 with Philadelphia.
Man,
what is going on here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are they like, oh shit, we're going too fast in the draft?
Well, I've seen some people on Twitter commenting about that, how quickly the draft has gone by so far.
Thank God.
I'm not mad at it.
No, not at all.
Me neither.
Some of us have to be up bright and early in the morning.
Same. Yeah. I got to be at the airport around 5 a.m. tomorrow, so I'm...
You're a trooper, Sean. And I told you didn't. I hope you didn't feel like you had to do this.
Oh, no, I wanted to do this.
But this is...
I wanted to.
It's a good time. This is the second year we've done this. So where are we at? We've seen 3 straight receivers go. I mean, did the Eagles trade up for Treylon Burks? Do they trade up to get Trevor Penning, the consensus best tackle left? I got a feeling if Penning's there for Baltimore, that feels like just a natural fit. Do they go Kyle Hamilton? Damn.
Wow.
That might be the first mock pick that I've gotten right. I don't have my mock draft up. I should. Life after Fletcher Cox.
Who do you think is going to have a better NFL career? Jordan Davis, Trayvon Walker?
Jordan Davis.
Yep.
I think Jordan Davis, really good gap eater, really good run support. I think he is a top 10 talent in this draft that plays a position that's just not very important.
And Walker also is with a franchise that's
that's a good point too.
Outside of their initial, incarnation in the NFL, haven't tasted much winning.
Mm-hmm.
Where the Eagles are just a few years removed from, a Super Bowl. I think they're a much closer team.
I got Carolina with Ike Ekwonu. And I got no, I didn't. I had Jordan Davis going to the Vikings. Damn. So I've only gotten one right so far.
So is the Ravens going to take Kyle Hamilton here?
Please do not.
Man.
I'm going to yeet myself.
I feel like Penning's going to be the pick here.
Whatever Houston winds up doing after whoever Baltimore picks here, depending on it, it can make me feel a lot better about the Derek Stingley pick. Based off of what we have seen so far, in terms of or who's been drafted so far, I could like that Derek Stingley pick more. But we'll see. We'll see. The night is still young.
Oh, the Ravens are already in.
Man, I'm just going to throw this out there. No, I'm not going to throw it out there yet. No quarterbacks being taken yet. Listen, I'm a Titans fan. You tell me that this team could end up with Sam Howell or Matt Corral tonight, I'm going to take it. That's all I'm saying.
I think Matt Corral would be a great pick for Tennessee.
I do too.
I think it would be a very, very good pick. I think it would light a fire under Tannehill's ass too.
I also think both of them will be there tomorrow.
Yeah. Speaking of Zach and the football show, they talked about it today. He brought up a conspiracy theory that maybe
I love a good conspiracy theory.
Maybe
it's not political.
Maybe that's why Ryan Tannehill hasn't been at voluntary OTAs yet, is because he's waiting to see what the Titans do at quarterback. And if they draft a guy, maybe he's going to be the next one to say, get me out of here. I want to trade. Nobody's taking on his cap hit this year.
Yeah, right? Absolutely
nobody.
Only Bill O'Brien running a team would do that.
And you can't take Ryan Tannehill to Alabama.
Well, the Ravens' biggest need is a edge rusher.
Jermaine Johnson's there.
Yeah, do they address it with this pick? Or do they go with what's best on the board, and that's still Hamilton?
Man, if the Texans get Kyle Hamilton at 15, I'm going to be so fucking jealous. Not that the Titans need a safety, but that's going to be – if the Texans walk away from this draft or this first round with Derek Stingley Jr. and Kyle Hamilton, that's going to win the night. It's going to be hard for anybody else to win the night. I mean –
does that beat what the Giants have done?
I was about to say the Giants with Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal, that's pretty good to get two players that could have been in contention for the first overall pick. But, man, I think Kyle Hamilton, I really think he's the best player in this draft.
With Kyle Hamilton, I love the traits. I love the athleticism. I know people were not very happy about his 40-yard dash, but
yeah, but watch the tape, man. Watch the game speed.
Yes, still watch the tape. And that's what you're trying to convince me to do with Stingley, is to watch the damn tape. And I need to watch the damn tape more to be convinced. Maybe I need more whiskey in me to do that. But
maybe.
Once we get into past 16, the back half of the first round,
it's a crapshoot.
I have no idea where it's going to go.
No,
I don't. No. And we're at 14. We're about to be at 15. You got Pittsburgh coming up here. Will they be the ones that select a?
I think they will be. Man, Jermaine Johnson's there.
Kyle Hamilton, speak it into existence
What's your
right
thoughts
now.
on Kenyon Green?
I love him. I would love for the Titans to pick him. And it's, again, for me, I had 12 guys in this draft class that I felt like were surefire first rounders. Like, these guys would be first rounders in any year. Kenyon Green is one of those to me. I think he's one of the safest prospects in this draft. He just happens to play a position that isn't incredibly valuable.
I'm just seeing some reports that think that's who the Texans are going to take.
That wouldn't. I don't know how you feel about offensive line, but that would not be a bad pick.
It wouldn't be. I guess it would.
Fuck.
You had to think that was going to happen.
I hate to see
He should
him.
have been gone like 4 picks ago, to be honest.
Well, yeah, you're right, but I hate to see him become a Baltimore Raven. Kyle Hamilton, the Ravens might have just gotten the best player in this entire draft.
So we were so close to greatness.
So close. So now, to Steven's point, if Kenyon Green is the guy there for Houston, that kind of feels like a Lovie Smith kind of pick.
Yeah, it would be a Lovie Smith or Pep Hamilton pick there. And the one thing, I don't know if they're going to do this tomorrow or Saturday. They have to address running back. They have to. But you never know. So,
wait, is that a real account?
I have no idea. You want me to go to his?
No, look at the handle.
Oh yeah.
Damn, you almost got me.
Man, I didn't look at who. I just read it.
man, Kyle Hamilton, he's gonna fit so nicely up there in that Baltimore
I know.
defense. Like
Fuck.
it's this my favorite pick of the night so far. My favorite pick.
Yeah, Kyle Hamilton to the Ravens.
God, he is gonna look so good in a Baltimore Ravens jersey too. It makes my blood boil.
I'm with you, man. I hate it. I love the pick, but I hate that he ended up with the Baltimore Ravens.
The Baltimore Ravens.
I mean, if you're a Ravens fan, you're doing fucking cartwheels right now.
You have to be doing cartwheels. This is a fantastic pick. It would not surprise me here in 2 years if he's the captain of the defense.
Yeah.
I have no idea who Houston's going to pick.
That's where we're at now. Houston is picking.
My one of my friends and one of me and Brandon's colleagues, part of the Music City Film Critics Association, Charlie Ridgely, diehard Baltimore fan, everything, texted in all caps to me just a minute ago. I never thought we would get Hamilton. So
there you go.
Boy, this such a great pick here. Such a great pick.
I love that they're comping him to Isaiah Simmons and Jalen Ramsey. That's fucking Kyle Hamilton right there. Man, he's so good. Is there anybody on the board available? I mean, do you go Jermaine Johnson here as far as who you would want?
Jermaine Johnson. That's the ideal pick right now. Wide receivers. I mean, there have been that talk with Garrett Wilson. I don't think right now at this pick you need to get a wide receiver. All the wide receivers have. I mean, there's not really other than Burke, right? That's
Treylon Burks, Jahan Dotson, and then you're starting to look at guys like Christian Watson, Sky Moore.
Yeah, and I don't think you would take one of those picks in the first half of the first round.
I'm with you.
I think Johnson's the pick here. He's got to be. I think.
It just dawned on me that actually the Ohio State wide receivers went 3 in a row. Jamison Williams,
a transfer. Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder if that's ever happened before.
All right.
Let's see.
Come on. Don't be stupid, Houston.
Kenyon Green. Yeah.
Nice.
This is a he does not look that thrilled.
I love I love Kenyon Green. I think he's a punisher. I think he is, man, he really, maybe this is a delay and they haven't announced the pick yet.
Oh, it's got to be.
He was just shaking his head.
Well,
no. He's the best guard in this draft class to me.
And they needed on the line. They didn't need a tackle. They needed a guard. And that fills a hole. So now Houston has 4 of its 5 linemen set.
So
if he goes in there and starts him right away, which I would think he would.
And that was the first of the guys that I had my eyes on for the Titans that are gone too.
And that's who that is who I saw mocked in more than a couple of mocks was Green to Tennessee.
It made a lot of sense. Like
there we go. There's the reaction. Okay. I was wondering on that.
I just scared the shit out of me. The cat just ran under my feet. And I didn't know what it was at first. Kenyon Green, a guy that could have plugged and played right there left guard from week 1 and been a cornerstone type of piece for years to come. So, you know, it's interesting. I think this draft is really falling in a beneficial way to the Titans because as these quarterbacks start to slide, this was a scenario that I wrote about. As the quarterbacks continue to slide, maybe somebody starts to trade up to get them.
Well, a big trade just happened.
Another trade.
Baltimore is trading Hollywood Brown to the Arizona Cardinals.
No.
Yep.
Wow. Are there details on the compensation there?
Not yet. It just,
my God.
It just came in a couple minutes ago. So,
all right. So the Commanders' pick is in, and their biggest need is DB. Do they go with like Trent McDuffie here?
I personally like Andrew Booth Jr. out of Clemson, big-bodied, physical cornerback. He's one of the true outside corners in this draft. You know, I know a lot of people had him graded lower back end of the first round, but I watched Andrew Booth Jr. and he looked every bit as capable of dominance as Stingley and Gardner in this draft class. I put him in that category a minute ago when I said there are 12 players in this draft that I think are surefire starters in the NFL, good picks. Booth was one of those guys for me. So I think if the Commanders end up with Andrew Booth Jr. here at 16, that would be a hell of a pick for them. McDuffie, I like a lot. Really fluid corner.
Yeah.
Quick guy. To me, I worry about his size. And I think that if you project him as an outside corner in the NFL, you're setting the kid up for failure. I think he's tailor-made to be a slot corner and hang with these shifty, speedy receivers. So if you take Trent McDuffie and you line him up in the slot, that's going to be a good pick. But I don't know if you're trying to force a square peg into a round hole if you try to put him outside. So it depends on what the Commanders look for in their defensive back.
And it's become very apparent to me that the Saints aren't going to get Penning, because I think he's going to fall to the Chargers.
I think the Chargers,
traded the wrong pick in my mind.
Yeah. The Chargers have been linked to Penning for a long time. There were even some reports out there that they were trying to package some picks together to move up to get Trevor Penning. So you never know. Maybe somebody on their board has fallen that they would pick instead of him. Kind of like I think happened with Kayvon Thibodeau and the Giants. I don't know that the Giants expected him to be there at number 5, but when he's there, you can't pass on him. So it could be that kind of situation. But yes, if I were a betting man, I think I would put my money on Trevor Penning being an LA Charger within the next 10 minutes or so.
The Ravens are trading Hollywood Brown in a 3rd rounder, which is the 100th overall pick in the draft, to the Cardinals for the 23rd pick in the draft.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So now they need a wide receiver.
Oh, I don't know why there is a delay, because I've already seen I just saw who the Chargers are picking.
Wow.
Which is at 17, and we're at 16 here on the telecast.
Yeah.
I honestly don't get, unless it's like to get on all the advertisements. If that's why there's such a delay.
It could be.
Because the draft was running pretty smooth, pretty quickly too.
Mm-hmm.
I've been reading some stuff from Texans Twitter. I don't know what to tell you. I like the pick for the Texans here. Some are calling it maybe a reach. Others really like it. And there's that connection, Texas A&M. A lot of people like how he run blocks, which if that was the
He's
intent,
a punisher.
Yeah,
he's a punisher.
If that was the intent to get him at 15 right there, then you better get a damn good running back in this draft.
Well, the good news for them is that it's a pretty damn good year to be looking for a running back. Yep. So we'll see what happens. Maybe they get one of the What happened? Is there a pick in or is there a trade?
It's a trade.
Who was it?
You're not going to be happy. The Titans are trading A.J. Brown to the Eagles.
No.
Yep, Adam Schefter.
Wow.
Fuck.
Oh, wow. I did not see that coming.
Fuck me.
Or that. I got to go to Titans Twitter.
Titans Twitter is going to be.
It's not looking pretty.
Man. Fuck. Oh, no. Fucking hell.
They better have gotten a haul for. John Robinson better have gotten a haul for that because, oh my God.
This is the Will Smith slap of the night.
I hate it. God, I'm trying not to fucking cry right now.
Do you want me to go pour you something?
I do need to make another gin and tonic. Fucking hell.
Oh, did Thomas? Yep. I don't get that. I guess we're gonna find out here shortly as to why. But that was. I hate that even as a Texans fan.
Well, then do the Eagles take a quarterback at 18?
No, the Titans are on at 18.
Oh, is that what the trade was?
The Titans get the 18th overall pick and another third round pick.
That's it for AJ fucking Brown? That's absurd.
Fuck. It's another Titans guy off the board.
So the Saints are going to get Penning after all.
I
have to assume.
I don't think the Titans are going to take. I think the Titans may take Treylon Burks, thinking they got a younger, cheaper A.J. Brown, and now they're trading A.J. Brown, and they picked up an extra first. Oh boy, this is.
So, Lamar Jackson retweeted a Ravens account and said, "What the fuck, bro? We traded away Hollywood heartbroke emoji."
I don't know.
I mean, I get. My only guess is as to why Tennessee made this trade is that AJ wanted more money than what Tennessee was willing to offer. That's my only.
And he would have just walked away.
Yeah.
You trade him now when you can still get a first and a third for him. I just don't know why you trade the best receiver this franchise has ever had.
No doubt, the best. And I'm not going to say Tennessee got fleeced, but I thought they should have gotten more.
Yeah,
for AJ Brown,
possibly a first for next year.
Yeah, I mean,
unless unless there's a player coming over from the Eagles as well, we don't know about.
So, and this is the crazy thing too, is that the compensation that the Titans got is around. Isn't it close to what the Ravens got for trading Hollywood Brown? And Hollywood Brown isn't even in the same realm, you would think, as AJ Brown.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I don't.
Wow. We're halfway there.
Who did the fucking Commanders take? I didn't even update my
Dotson from Penn State.
Yeah.
And then the Chargers pick Zion Johnson. Watch the Titans take fucking Malik Willis here.
I mean, Jermaine Johnson's still out there.
Oh boy. People are starting to pull up that that comment from that Mike Vrabel made back on earlier this month on AJ Brown being on the trading block, and Vrabel said, "Not as long as I'm the head coach."
Mm-hmm.
That trump card got pulled.
I just this draft is already crazy. Yeah. It's already one of the craziest ones, and I'm glad we're getting.
I remember you got to flick the handle up the plumbing in here.
I mean, I'm glad we're getting this in lieu of there not being as much top end talent this year. But I cannot believe I'm a Texans fan. I love and respect what Mike Vrabel does as a head coach or is doing as a head coach. I like how John Robinson has run the team. And I think A.J. Brown is one of the best receivers in the league. But, man, I just hate I hate to see this.
What I think it came down to, I think there was going to end up being an ugly contract dispute because A.J. Brown wanted to be paid over $20 million a year.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown is worth that money. Don't get me wrong. I think he can be one of the 5 best receivers in this league. But you look at the Titans offense and I think you're going to be 100 target guy, not 100 reception guy in this offense. And I think maybe that came down to it when they said like, hey, we can't justify paying this guy what he deserves because we're just not going to use receivers that way. And maybe that's what it came down to, where they said, hey, we'll trade him while we can get something for him instead of prolonging the situation. That's my only guess right now.
And when you look at it too, the way the Titans are built right now, they're in the win now window.
Yeah.
And they could still win a Super Bowl here within the next couple of years. But with all these contracts and money, and they're gonna have to pay Jeffrey Simmons as an example there. And if you're confident that Derrick Henry is gonna have fresh legs for the next 2 to 3 years, then you can talk yourself into this making sense as to why, if this was going to drag out, he was going to hold out. All these other receivers around him are getting paid, and he's not.
I just saw the pick on accident too, and this is money management.
It has to be.
It's exactly what it is. I am shocked.
I was not. I was almost certain Tennessee was going to have a locked up deal. I thought they were going to give him like 4 years, maybe up to $100 million.
They show the guy wearing the AJ Brown jersey. Come on.
Well, does this prove that Tannehill is not in the future? Even though we kind of already knew that, but this kind of move.
I think so.
Boy, the Titans just put up the Twitter thing, or they just put up the tweet about the trade, and they are getting roasted right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
They are absolutely getting roasted for this. Just came in from Ian Rappaport. AJ Brown gets a 4-year extension for $100 million, $57 million guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. That's what it was. I'm telling you, the Eagles could pay him. The Eagles are going to use him.
Mm-hmm.
High volume of passes. And the Titans are about to get a younger, cheaper A.J. Brown. So it feels like a gut punch now. But the reality is this is a team that was strapped against the cap. Bucky, you're gonna have to chill, buddy. You can't get that fly up there. Yep.
I mean, this is a pretty good pick.
It is. You're gonna get, I love Trayvon Burks. He was one of my guys.
And if you're gonna get similar production,
well, I mean, and don't forget they trade for Robert Woods.
Mm-hmm. I think Robert Woods is going to fit in that offense nice.
I do too. It's money management because now they don't have to worry about this ugly dispute dragging out with A.J. Brown. If it was going to come to that, A.J. Brown is worth the contract that he got for a team that is going to use a receiver like that. But man, it's just a gut punch.
It is.
It's like Greeny just said, like that was the Titans' second best play. Well, I don't know if I'd go that far. I think Big Jeff is the Titans' second best player right now, but I think A.J. Brown, you can make the argument. I think this is also a sign that, hey, this 2019 draft class was so good for John Robinson and the Titans that they were not going to be able to pay everybody because the same year they were going to have to pay A.J. Brown, they have to pay Jeffrey Simmons, they have to pay David Long Jr., they have to pay Amani Hooker, all these guys that are going to be due contracts. I think if Trayvon Burks ends up being A.J. Brown 2.0, which some people have called him, then this is a good trade. But it's kind of hard to stomach right now, the franchise doing this. This is kind of a head scratcher.
Sports radio in Nashville is going to be so much fun tomorrow.
Man, ain't that the fucking truth? Ain't that the truth?
It's going to be. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm with you, Bucky. Let's howl at the moon tonight. Don't get on this table.
In regards to Burks, people on Twitter are already like, yeah, enjoy him for 4 years before we trade him away.
Yeah.
Like, especially, what doesn't make sense either about this A.J. Brown trade, or at least why the Titans should have gotten more, is that if the money was already in place, they should have gotten more.
They should have gotten more. That's an issue. I won't argue. A first and a third, like maybe a first and I don't need a first and a second, a first, a second, a third. Hey, dude, you're gonna have to get down now. No, down.
No. I thought they 2 once for me, one this year, one next year, or at least like a first and a second next year plus that third for this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one did hurt, Pat. That one did hurt.
So the Eagles were like, we didn't really get as much as we wanted off of the Saints. Let's go rape another team.
Man,
this card that they brought up, the wide receiver notes, Jesus Christ.
And we still got, 14 picks?
Well, the Titans have another pick tonight.
True.
Man.
Malik Willis.
I was about to say it. The Titans are going to end up with Trayvon Burks and Malik Willis, and Titans Twitter is just going to explode. Man, I tell you what, I jinxed myself with this, guys. I made this happen. I am because I said before we started recording, there's nothing the Titans could do tonight that would piss me off.
That's true. Multiple times.
And then they did this. Oh, man.
Someone brought up on Texans Twitter the Derek Stingley versus Trayvon Burks battle is going to be fun.
Friend of the brand battle just texted me saying, I just bought an A.J. Brown jersey today.
Oh, my God.
I'm replying, did you keep the receipt?
Carolyn Fenton just tweeted out not even a minute ago, how much do the Eagles have to invest in wide receivers before they realize Jalen Hurts is the problem?
Ooh.
All right, the Saints pick is in.
It's got to be Trevor Penning.
It's got to be.
Yeah. Oh, man. Hey, dude, you want to go on upstairs and quit raising hell? Thank you. There he goes.
Buck Rising just tweeted 30 seconds ago a summary of the reaction from people inside the Titans organization on trading A.J. Brown. What the fuck?
Yeah, who?
I don't think
who made that call.
This is going to be an interesting thing because you wonder if this is the type of thing that can kind of fracture relationships. If not everybody was on board with it. You know, I don't want to be dramatic and overreactive to something like this, but if, you know, the building, that's the building.
Yeah, that's
in the building. People are saying, what the fuck? It kind of makes you think that I don't did just John Robinson go fucking rogue and say, hey, we got to get more draft picks and we can't afford to pay AJ his $100 million. It's crazy. I just don't, I don't know. I don't seem to have the right words to describe this right now. Again, I can see a scenario in which it benefits the Titans in the long term because they're not going to use their wide receivers at a high volume. It's dumb to pay one $100 million. And A.J. Brown deserves every bit of that. I think A.J. Brown can be a top 5 receiver in the NFL. But in the moment right now, when you were so close to winning a Super Bowl and being a Super Bowl contender, to trade away one of the cornerstones of your offense is just it's baffling.
That's a good way.
It's interesting.
It's a good way to look at it because if you look at their quarterback position, they don't have one they fully trust to get the deep ball to them, runs, throw to certain routes or whatnot. Because we saw what happened in that playoff game against the Bengals. So when they make a move at quarterback and draft somebody or pick somebody up, they're still in that same position because they don't know what they really have.
Yeah.
And you've got a guy you paid $100 million to plus probably.
There you go.
Man.
That's a good pick. That's a grade A pick right there.
I didn't think he was going to fall to us at 18.
But we can thank all these teams in the wide receiver run.
Yep. Thank you, Titans.
So he is replacing, you're going to have to remind me.
Teron Armstead.
That's right. And he went to Miami.
I think did. You're right. Miami, yes.
One of the
once you leave New Orleans, you're dead to me, so I don't know.
Don't blame me. That's the way I look at it as Houston Texan. If you leave, unless, you know, you've been a veteran, been there a while, like Whitney Merciless. I mean, they traded it, or they let him go, and he went on to Green Bay. I was like, wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, I really like this pick. He's got a nasty attitude. We saw him picking fights during the practices at the Senior Bowl, and he backs up every inch, every word he says. I love this for New Orleans and Jameis Winston.
You need these tough as nails type of people online, not just that are, you know, from a physical standpoint, like talk that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're here at 20,
Is this where we finally see a quarterback go? I'm trying to like compose myself and get back to, you know, a live show. This is fucking crazy.
Please, I mean, I didn't think anything tonight was going to top the previous run of all the wide receivers going so early and all these teams trading up to going up to get these players. But this A.J. Brown thing is just, and especially what Buck Rising just tweeted out, that people within the organization are like, what the fuck? And what's perplexing to me about this is, and I'm not a guy who knows anything about the cap, not entirely know about the financial situation with the Titans, but 4 years, $100 million, not even 60 million of it is guaranteed. Or no, almost 60 million is guaranteed. So you're looking at 50 million a year about in a 4-year span, and then potentially up to 10 million for every year. So I don't know. I just don't get that.
Treylon Burks is a Titans guy. And if we can just make it through all this and Treylon Burks is what everyone thinks he's going to be, then we'll forget this, you know, this would just be water under the bridge.
What did Thomas say here?
Let's see. Treylon Burks has been hunting the wild boar stuff. Yeah. So Treylon Burks just goes out with a knife and like gets in hand-to-hand combat with wild boar. and kills them.
So he's going to handle the media just fine.
This
coming in, he's going to handle it like a pro.
Yeah,
and he's going to go in there and he's going to probably say something along the lines like, "I'm not here to be AJ Brown. I'm here to be Treylon Burke." And
so
I think he'll be a good fit for the organization. But
you want to hear something interesting? I know you're a gambler with me.
True.
Music City Bets pointed this out on Twitter. The Titans have just now dropped to the second best odds in the AFC South for 2022.
Behind the Colts?
Behind the Colts.
What?
Man, this is just
nerve-wracking.
It's wild.
Oh boy. Steelers pick is in.
Do they go quarterback? Do we see our first quarterback off the board? It's not the one we thought, though, is it?
I guess it depends on who you talk to or who you listen, watch, or read.
Let's play a game then. Is the quarterback they've selected going to have to travel too far from where he played college ball?
He will not have to.
Okay. Thought that might have been an option for them. I'm surprised because we saw Mike Tomlin was the only NFL head coach at the Senior Bowl, and all of the rumblings from the press and the scouts that were there were that he loved Malik Willis, and he was there specifically to scout Malik Willis. So that's a bit of a surprise to me.
So the question now then becomes, where does Malik Willis go?
26 to the Titans. Fuck it. Take Malik Willis and burn it all to the fucking ground.
What if Tennessee trades that third-round pick they just got from AJ Brown to move up a couple of spots from where they're, because they're what, at 26?
Yeah, they're at 26.
So who's at 23 through 25?
So you're looking at New England, Green Bay, Arizona, Baltimore, Dallas, Buffalo. None of these teams need quarterbacks.
Yeah, none of them need quarterbacks.
Oh my God. If the Titans take Malik Willis, I will shit my pants at this table.
In a good way, or
I don't know. I don't know. Matt Corral is my QB1 in this draft class.
Yeah.
If it's Matt Corral, I'm gonna say I told you so over and over for the rest of the fucking show.
As you should.
If they take Malik Willis, I'm not confident. I'm not confident that this coaching staff can utilize Malik Willis's skill set.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn, I need to drink.
Yeah. I'm gonna here in a few get another drink and then pee, but I can hold it.
This has been a great draft.
This has been a great draft.
This has been a phenomenal draft. And, it just feels great to watch a draft and know my team's actually participating in the first round.
Mine too.
Okay, this is Mike Herndon points out more eloquently than I was saying out loud. As upsetting as it is, you can clearly see the Titans' thought process here. They didn't want to give AJ $25 million a year. Maybe his injury issues were concerning for them long term, so they found a way to get an AJ replica who can take his place at a fraction of the price. That's the optimistic take.
And I'm not saying this because I'm not judging or anything, but I think some of the signs.
Kenny Pickett.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'm not saying to judge AJ Brown or anything. I think you should be allowed to do whatever you want to. I mean, we're not supposed to live or look closely at what they do outside of playing football, but I don't know. I mean, he's funny in a way with sometimes he'll tweet out stuff and then delete it.
Yeah. Your dad, your father-in-law.
What's that?
I think I saw your father-in-law.
I don't know if he's there. I never got confirmation. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Sean.
No, it's all good.
So You know who we have to blame for this whole A.J. Brown fiasco? And it's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, exactly. The fucking Jaguars.
They
Christian
overpaid a wide receiver, and it's fucked up the market.
So who was the first wide receiver out of the 2019 class that got an extension?
Run that by me again. I'm replying to. I'm getting DMs and messages left and right now.
Who was the who was the first wide receiver? Not Christian Kirk, but the first one to get a huge extension
this offseason?
Yeah, because it was one, and then it all rolled. Was it?
I don't remember.
It wasn't Devontae Adams, was it?
No, he got traded and then extended.
Yeah,
he was one of the later ones.
At least
yeah.
Thomas, if you're still on, do you remember who that was?
I don't remember.
Like the first wide receiver, they got that big extension that basically snowballed everything to where we are now.
2019 draft?
Yeah.
So in the first round, you had, I just lost them. Where'd they go? Marquise Brown and N'Keal Harry. And that's it for the first round.
Oh.
Let me look at round 2.
As Ryan points out here, there are plenty of free agents out there still. That's a good point because there's going to be another wave of free agency after the draft. Wait a second. Holy shit.
Oh, wow.
Another trade.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs are moving up to 21 here.
Deebo Samuel.
Oh, my God.
Nicole Hardman.
Deebo Samuel is still, well, we talked about that a little bit earlier.
J.J. Whiteside, Paris Campbell were the second rounders, and Isabella and DK Metcalf.
DK hasn't been paid yet, has he?
No, he has not.
Oh, hey, Bucky.
Oh, he's chasing shadows. Don't mind him.
Round you got Deontay Johnson, Jalen Hurd.
Wasn't Allen Robinson.
Terry McLaurin.
I didn't know if it was 2019 draft, but there was one wide receiver in this offseason that started this whole thing that snowballed everything with these massive extensions.
And it was before Christian Kirk.
I think, wasn't it?
I remember Christian Kirk being the one that happened and then being like, what? What are y'all doing? Yeah, I don't know.
Kansas City has got to be pissed at all these wide receivers going so early and quick.
For real.
I just saw somewhere on here that apparently the Jets offered their 10th pick and another pick for Deebo Samuel, and the 49ers said no.
Well, I think they legit want to work it out with him.
If they can work with his workload and him not getting or relying on him so much in that kind of role that he's in, then they need to work that out. Pay the man.
Hey, was it Stephon Diggs?
That was last year. I think he got his. Was it?
No, he recently got paid.
Did he?
Yeah.
He got 96 mil, 70 total guaranteed.
I like, I've been like banging the drum for Matt Corral this whole draft process for the Titans. And now I just tweet like, take Matt Corral and burn it all to the ground. And now people are like, yeah, I'm for it at this point. Let's do it.
Oh my
God.
God.
Now you're coming around to me.
So Thomas, friend of the brand, just sent me this via text. His new jersey.
That's so good.
I like it.
That's good.
That's very Cleveland brownish of him.
Oh man. I don't know if he has a Twitter account, but that'll go viral tonight if he posts it.
Yeah, Thomas, you should if you're still you should put that on Twitter if you haven't already. Oh, and he said that I think Kirk was the first. So maybe it was Kirk. I just couldn't remember if it was Kirk.
Kirk got an exorbitant amount of money.
And then everyone was like, why am I getting paid?
Yeah.
Even New England seemed to have gotten more than the Browns got with this trade.
What an absolutely wild draft.
Here we go. Whoa.
I like it.
Interesting.
That's a great, you want to talk about, that's a direct replacement for Tyrann Mathieu. What I was talking to you about earlier. McDuffie's skill set. He's a bendy, fluid, quick, twitchy cornerback. The size makes you worry about him outside against big-bodied NFL wide receivers, but the Chiefs are going to be able to deploy him more as a safety and use those quick skills the way that they use the Honey Badger. Man, that's a great pick for Kansas City.
Oh, it is. Mike Herndon tweeted out about a half hour ago, Titans wander the wide receiver wilderness for 20 years, find one, and then throw them away.
That's what I'm saying. The best receiver in franchise history. I'm going to put up a graphic. I'm going to go. We're going to take a quick break, and I'm gonna
jump off a ledge,
pour another drink before we. I'm going to show my quarterback rankings here. Actually, no, that's not wide enough. Yeah, reminder how much I love Treylon Burks in this draft class. We are going to go to an intermission. All right, we are back on the air. We just saw the Kansas City Chiefs take Trent McDuffie. The Green Bay Packers took Quay Walker, linebacker out of Georgia. What is that? That is the third Georgia defender to go. Jordan Davis, Quay Walker, Trayvon Walker, Nakobe Dean, Lewis Seen still on the board. This Georgia defense, we haven't talked about this yet on this show. 5 guys. By the way, Sean will be back. Sean did not just decide to leave in the middle of the broadcast after all this. But this Georgia defense having 5 guys that could go in the first round tonight, pretty historic, no? What do you think that says about the program that Kirby Smart has built down there in Athens?
Well, there's a reason why they won the national championship.
Fair enough.
In the first round of this draft has proven that. I just did the math. I think it's 9 out of 22 players so far have come out of the SEC. So the SEC doing it again as they do year in, year out, just putting millionaires on the board.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm still stumped by what happened here locally.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
I think there's a lot more to it that hopefully over the next coming days will, kind of air itself out, and we'll see, what the real reason behind trading your star player outside of number 22.
Well, we were just discussing that as we were all pouring ourselves another round here. I got the GNT restocked here. Kind of wondering if maybe AJ's attitude had something to do with this. Was it strictly the money? I don't know. I mean, we're just kind of grasping at straws here, trying to process this, because this really is a monumental trade. It's like I said before. This is a guy that was the best wide receiver that this franchise had ever seen, and you give him up for a first and a third, and that's it.
He's a difference maker.
He
is a difference maker, and especially if he gets that contract extension, you can't help but wonder, that's it? That's all you got? Really? I mean, I get that people are like, oh, this can be the person that immediately replaces A.J. Brown and maybe has a comp to Deebo Samuel, but still.
It's still a projection. He hasn't proven himself yet. For all we know, Burks could be the best rookie wide receiver we have ever seen. Yeah.
And if that happens, Titans fans will be quick to forget about A.J. Brown. They will be instant fans of the University of Arkansas, and for years will want to have the team draft people from the University of Arkansas.
This cat's raising hell. This is usually about the time that he starts going crazy. And for those that are wondering, yes, we're just set up at my house. We don't have the budget for an actual office or a studio now, so y'all are just gonna have to put up with the cat running up and down the stairs every once in a while.
The draft has been absurdly wild, and the only thing that I can think of right now that I would want to mention are these 2 lovely shirts that you have here.
Thank you, Sean. I haven't even promoted them once tonight, other than just this banner that we have going at the bottom. New to SoBroShop.com. The Nashville Hot. Listen, you're Nashville, you're hot. Why not represent with the Nashville Hot t-shirt? And then, of course, got to coach better, got to play better, which I'm sporting tonight on the live stream, which now, Mike Vrabel, it's a Vrabelism, if you will. Coach better, play better. You really got to coach better and play better now that you've given away your second best person on offense.
You have a white marker, we'll put draft better.
I think I might have to buy one of those after our live stream here.
There you go.
Here's a question for you. How pissed are Cowboys fans now?
They're
always pissed.
But
holy shit, I just realized Jermaine Johnson's still available.
Yeah.
Maybe that's who the Bills came up to get. Sorry, Sean, I cut you off. I didn't mean to.
I mean, I saw something. You just mentioned that while we were on break. I was looking at something where just think of all these times that the Cowboys could have traded up for virtually nothing to get X player that was just drafted, and look where they are now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious as to why Buffalo moved up here.
Andrew Booth? Wow. That's a bit of a surprise.
Okay.
Kaiir Elam going, man.
Another SEC guy.
Yeah. Regardless of how our teams have fared tonight with the draft, me basically screaming about Derek Stingley Jr. being picked 3rd overall, A.J. Brown getting traded.
The Saints giving up 3 picks to get Chris Olave.
Yeah.
I'm still having one hell of a time here, boys.
True.
I love doing this. This is the second year that we've done it. I do wish that Owen could be here with us tonight, but maybe next year I'll have to buy another microphone. We'll get that set up all ironed out. But a good time. Oh, there we go. He just threw. We got that on camera too. He just knocked his toy on me. I was gonna do a prop bet for this that I forgot to do at the top of the show, but I was gonna do which is higher, the number of quarterbacks taken in the first round tonight, or the number of crinkly toys Bucky knocks off of the stairs there. And yes, no, never mind. I thought that was the avocado there for a minute.
So
it's just a wrinkly toy.
So let's say here Tennessee, they're coming up here in a couple picks of 26. If they do not, if they don't pick a quarterback here, what is there a possible first? Is there a team after Tennessee here in the first round that's going to pick a quarterback, or Kenny Pickett is going to be the only one tonight we see?
I think this is where you could see another team, like maybe in Atlanta, that trades up to get the quarterback. Maybe Atlanta trades up to get Malik Willis there at 16. I don't think you have to worry about the Cowboys or the Ravens taking a quarterback.
Right.
I think there's a chance that the Titans get out of this 26 overall pick and maybe get back into the second round and pick up another pick. I mean, right now, they're out of a second round pick. They have the 26 overall pick. They now have 2/3 and they have 2/4 this year, which is, as I've said on this broadcast already, I feel like this is a good year to have multiple picks in those 3rd to 5th round range.
Yeah, and that's why I really liked the trade, even though if we stayed, I mean, I'm trying to convince myself that it was a good trade, but we could have stayed at 13 and picked Kyle Hamilton. But at the same time, more picks, especially in those later rounds, are probably going to be more valuable this year than in previous years. Tennessee would benefit if someone wants to go up there, trade for a quarterback, then they should absolutely consider any kind of deal. And I think they are. They probably, John Robinson, I mean, he never sleeps.
No.
I mean, he's probably working the phones right now.
Out on Percy Priest Lake.
It's just that reaction that they showed in there when the Titans were on the clock. It looked like Mike Vrabel and John Robinson were the only people in that room that knew what had just happened. And everyone, I mean, I'm not saying people look stupefied, but you could tell, I think those two were probably the only ones that knew. And that's probably why we're seeing that thing from Buck Rising where inside the organization, everyone's like, what the fuck? But I guess we're going to find out here in the next few hours or days.
The details will eventually come out.
True.
Man, Jermaine Johnson, the Cowboys need a little pass rush help. If you would have told Cowboys fans that you could get Jermaine Johnson at 24 before this draft, I think they would have taken that in a heartbeat.
But some of their bigger needs are linebacker and guard are two of their bigger needs. So I'm like,
Nakobe Dean still available, a kid from Georgia we just talked about.
Devin Lloyd is still there.
Lloyd, man.
You have to go down a bit before you really get a guard on the radar.
Yeah, the guards, there's a bit of a drop off after Zion Johnson, after Kenyon Green. Oh man, that's somebody, Nick Lombardi, already tweeting the Titans are going to draft a linebacker at 26 and Titans Twitter will implode. That's the only thing that could top off this evening is after all of this, trading away AJ Brown, picking up a second first round pick. If they end up sticking at 26 and they take Nakobe Dean.
Well, they trying to keep up with everything because I mean, everyone knows this. I'm a Texans fan, but I still follow a few Titans fans accounts, and I even listen. I listen to the Unofficial Titans podcast. I listen to Football and Other F Words.
Yeah,
and I'm not even a Titans fan, but I enjoy the content.
Yeah,
so much.
That's good.
And I gotta tell you, it's just seeing Titans Twitter right now. I mean, I'm right there with them in some respects in terms of, maybe I kind of feel the same way, that sickness in my stomach when Deshaun Watson requested that trade initially.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about that, or I felt that same way. Well, I'm sure Titans fans are feeling right now with AJ Brown.
It's a gut punch.
But then again, now that the Deshaun Watson saga is over, I'm glad it's over with, and especially after the awful human being we've come to find out about him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
know what the fuck this cat's doing. He's just going crazy.
I don't know who has pissed off. I don't know which team this offseason has pissed off other teams more. The Jaguars in that stupid contract they gave Christian Kirk, or the Browns giving all that guaranteed money to Deshaun Watson. I don't know which team has pissed off other teams more. It's one of those two, and it's not even close.
Yeah. So the pick is in for the Cowboys. Tyler Linderbaum, the best center in this draft, is still available.
True.
They used to.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God they picked Tyler Smith.
He was not at the top of my choices.
I was scared to death that the Titans were going to draft him. They met with Tyler Smith. He seems like a Vrabel type of guy. But man, he's raw. He's got some real technique issues, but he's a mauler. I mean, he kind of feels like he's got the potential there. And Dallas has a good offensive line. They develop offensive linemen. They've had a good offensive line for years. Good for him, but
Field Yates brought up a good thing about this whole A.J. Brown thing, at least for the Eagles. The Eagles turned Carson Wentz into an extra first-round pick and then turned an extra first-round pick into A.J. Brown. There were other pieces and moves involved, but not a bad trade-off in the end for Philadelphia.
Not at all.
No.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know if Jalen Hurts is exactly the answer in Philadelphia still. I think the jury's still out on him. He just has to make a big jump, especially who he has in that wide receiver room now.
Yeah.
Like, you've got two grade A receivers in there.
They've got the reaction video of Vrabel up there.
Oh, do they?
He just got up and walked away. Yeah, he did. He did kind of look like
he was about to whoop somebody's ass.
Yeah.
He's like, where's Chris Rock when you need him?
That's another thing that we've talked about. The last time the three of us were on a live stream together, we had our resident film critic Brandon Vick with us for the Oscars live stream, and we got to watch Chris Rock get smacked on stage in real time. And now tonight we get to watch A.J. Brown traded from the Tennessee Titans in real time as well.
God, wild. Just wild. Wouldn't trade it for anything then.
No?
Yeah, it didn't affect my team, so I'm good.
I don't know what this cat's doing.
So I saw Sobros being mentioned. Reed showed me the video of the talk. Buck Rising asking about it.
Yeah, Zach from Football and Other F Words was on Buck's show on Friday, and he took the plaque for best Nashville sports podcast that we gave him. Well, we didn't give them; they earned it. We had I think it was over 760 votes for that, and they had like 300 of the votes alone. So I mean, they won it, pretty convincing win. And he took the plaque in to the Zone Studios there and showed it to Buck. And I think Buck and Lucas were kind of questioning the legitimacy of the award, which is fair because we are just dickheads on the internet. But you know what? We can do that, and we can take it to the community, and we can say, hey guys, vote. And that's what they voted. They voted for Football and Other F Words. And yeah, he asked about it and mentioned Sobros Network by name.
That's great.
Zach told me after that because he said, like cover Nashville sports, film, entertainment, all things Nashville. And then Buck kind of cuts him off and says, so you didn't just make this up or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Zach told me later on that he was going to work in the Yankee Candle reviews that I do too, which I think that would have been fucking hilarious. If you're telling Buck Rising on 104.5 The Zone about a website that does Yankee Candle reviews. So, but that's Sobros Network. So,
yeah. Well, it's great to see the brand out there.
Trying, we're trying, doing everything we can.
Well, at least for I know we're getting off topic here, but with my site at Fox Sports 5 News, we're gonna. It hasn't been revealed yet, but a handful of people know about it, about what the future of Fox Sports 5 News. Unless you've been on my Twitter, I'm now the editor-in-chief of Fox Sports 5 News. So it has been known that former EIC Kevin Skinner founded and created the site. Great guy. Stepped down. But for that, he offered the site to me. And so I took it. So there are some changes that are coming, but they're going to be great, and I'm excited, and it's going to be more the only thing I'll say is it'll be a more Nashville-centric website, considering all of our writers live in and around the Nashville area. So
yeah. Well, you have us as a resource. Anything we can help you with, you just say the word.
I appreciate it.
Again, I don't know how much we want to reveal here, but I am looking forward to what's next for you.
Oh, thank you.
Bussing with the boys.
Oh boy!
Just tweeted out, if the Titans take a quarterback at the 26th pick, just be prepared for mayhem.
Hell yeah,
man!
Paul Kuharsky is leaning towards Linderbaum at 26.
No. I mean, if they want to go young, you can get the best center in this draft class. That's gonna piss Titans Twitter off too. Linderbaum's a pure center. Linderbaum's not a guy that you're gonna like kick out to guard. Tyler Linderbaum to me is not a guy that is going to help this football team as long as Ben Jones is still under contract and still playing well. So I mean, again, the thinking would be, man, are the Titans in like tear it down mode and we just don't know it?
No, they're not.
The defense is too good.
Yeah.
Your running game's the best in the league.
They're definitely not tearing. No. They're reassessing, retooling. They're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. I wouldn't be scared about the Colts. They're gonna at least win the division. It's especially after tonight and this weekend, what do the Titans do next? Yeah. I don't think they're done this offseason with all this stuff. Sure, we're going to get this A.J. Brown thing. It's a hard pill to swallow, but there are going to be other things that they're probably going to work with. They're around to. I
would have thought Treylon Burks would have been a good pick at 26 with A.J. Brown and Robert Woods. Now you're in a position where you're kind of counting on Robert Woods to be the guy here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like now the Titans still need another wide receiver in this draft.
True, but like you said, the Titans passing game isn't built to really need a stud wide receiver one.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially with your running game. And if Henry is truly completely healthy coming into next year, I don't think the Titans are going to really lose a whole lot in the sense of the production. Words. Thank you. I'll take it.
There goes Linderbaum.
The pick's in.
I thought Linderbaum could have gone to the Ravens with their first pick, but with Penning on the board, I thought he would have been more desirable. I had the Ravens. Listen, Kyle Hamilton and Tyler Linderbaum.
That's a great draft.
That class I keep talking about, the 12 safest players in this draft, both of those guys I had in that group. So yeah, I hate to see. I'll say it. I'm petty enough. I hate to see the Ravens doing well tonight.
Well,
so from what we've seen so far, even though we have 6 picks left, who's the front runner in each division, or not each, but some of the divisions after what they've added tonight?
I don't know that all that much changes because I don't know that there were that many like game-changing players in this draft. Like I don't know how many guys in this class instantly make them. Oh my God, the Titans trade.
What the fuck?
The Jets.
Did we just trade out of the first?
I would bet that's exactly what just happened.
Yeah, the Jets don't have another first-round pick.
I bet the Titans are moving back. The Jets, Jermaine Johnson. Oh shit! Stay awake. Stay awake. Jermaine Johnson. Who did they got? Sauce Gardner with their first pick.
So the Jets have the 6th pick in the second round.
I bet you anything the Titans just moved back and picked up another third, and then they're going to package 2 of those 3 thirds that they had and move back into the second for another one.
Yeah. I'm waiting.
That's wild speculation. I don't know that for sure, but there's a fly in here. That's what's driving the cat crazy. Damn it. Kind of second-rate studio are we operating out of?
So I saw where Kevin Byard tweeted out the emoji with the anger emoji with the curse word thing there after AJ Brown got traded.
Well, it's like I asked earlier. Is this the kind of thing that can potentially fracture a team?
It could be. And Lamar Jackson, after this pick that the Ravens just had, just said WTF.
Traylon Burks said to Jim Wyatt, I wouldn't say I am AJ's replacement, but I am thankful for the opportunity and that they believed in me to make that trade.
He's dog. I like Traylon Burks a lot.
Still waiting for those the compensation to come
through.
They're
getting 30. We know they're getting number 35. That's been reported by Kuharski, and supposedly something else.
Here it is. The Jets get the 26th and the 101st pick in the draft. The Titans get 35, 69, and 163.
There you go.
So
there you go.
So do they go quarterback now? Tomorrow?
I don't know. I think they're just gonna. I don't know. There's not an offensive lineman here that you take. I don't know. I don't know.
At this rate, Jermaine Johnson's still available.
I think that might have been who the Jets traded up to get. This is fucking batshit crazy. Moving back into the second round, I think honestly puts him in play for Cole Strange.
Yeah.
Interior offensive line help, a guy that can play multiple positions, looks like a Titans type of guy. I am interested to see how the players, how it comes out, the player reactions continue to respond to this.
Yeah. It's gonna be a mixed bag, and the best that you can hope for the Titans at least is that, you know, everyone has good things, nice things to say about AJ Brown, but you know, the NFL, just like any other professional sports league, it's a business. Just say it's a business, and you hate to see someone go that you got to know, got to play with, liked being around, but it is a business, and these things happen. But if you're looking at the future, it's hard to try and spin this in a positive way right now. But I mean, they're gonna have to pay Jeffrey Simmons, and he's gonna probably be worth a lot more than what right now what a wide receiver is getting. And unless you're getting, and I think if he's not getting $100 million guaranteed, I think maybe that deal is fine. But at the same time, though, what wide receivers are getting right now is just unreal.
It is
like quarterback money.
Darren Bates tweeted, "This is going to hurt more than y'all will see. Mark my words." You see it. Yeah, that makes sense.
This is a man. The Jets gotta steal right here. Him sliding all the way down to 26.
Now they get Jermaine Johnson and Sauce Gardner to add to their defense immediately. Robert Saleh's got to be doing cartwheels.
Man, I wish Lovie Smith could be doing cartwheels, but we got Derek fucking Stingley and
Kenyon Green.
Kenyon Green. I mean, maybe they work out just fine, but man, they had the opportunity to get Kyle Hamilton. The opportunity. You want that guy, that culture piece. Kyle Hamilton could have been it.
I mean, to take it a step further, they could have had Sauce Gardner and Kyle Hamilton in the backfield together.
They could have, and it's taken everything in me not to go screaming in the backfield.
So A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts were working out together last week. And here we are. They're teammates now.
That's interesting. Yeah.
It's funny. Thomas was saying that going to Philly to get booed when Jalen Hurts throws a 10-yard out at his feet is a tough scene.
Oh, man. Oh, that's good.
Well, going back to what you said about getting a cheaper version of A.J. Brown, that's exactly what Chad Withrow tweeted a little while ago. They got rid of A.J. Brown to draft a younger, cheaper version of him and avoided an enormous contract extension this year or next. He actually likes the move.
Yeah, I listen, I'm telling you, you can make sense of the scenario. You can make sense of the logic behind it and understand the decision making of it all. It just stings because A.J. Brown is a proven commodity in the NFL. Something I don't think we did talk about either is like this staff has better insight into his medical issues, his injury history than we do just watching on the TV on Sundays. So maybe they had reason to kind of doubt whether or not AJ was really worth giving the $100 million to. Not going to get the volume of passes that you would typically expect the wide receiver one to get. Injury history, I don't know. Wait, hold up. Did the Jags just trade up?
Yeah, they did.
What
the fuck? All these trades,
man.
I'm just over here like looking at shit like on Twitter. Like I got like Michael Thomas tweet about Derek Stingley Jr. They got it right, gangsta. And then you had Jarvis Landry with 4 rocket emojis. So I guess I must be in the minority on this Derek Stingley Jr. pick. I must be. And I want to be proved wrong on this very much bad. So the Jacksonville Jaguars traded the Buccaneers their 33rd overall pick, 106th pick, 180th pick to get the 27th pick.
Damn.
Malik Willis.
No.
No. Can you imagine?
Oh, man.
Can you imagine?
I'm excited for this show.
I don't know who they could be targeting right now.
You mentioned this show, McCash, and there's just so much good TV on right now. I just saw today where I had completely forgotten about it, but Andrew Garfield's new limited series on FX Under the Banner of Heaven just came out.
Oh.
That looked pretty good. That new mini series on Paramount Plus about the making of The Godfather, star Miles Teller, The Offer. I'd heard that's good. There's just a lot of good TV on right now.
Yep. Daxton Hill is the number 1 rated.
Daxton Hill is a good player.
Left according to ESPN.
This could be where we see Andrew Booth Jr. go. The Jags could use some defensive back help.
I mean,
I don't know.
It's got to be defense if they're going.
Is there a wide receiver you would take here? I mean, at this point, Jahan Dotson's off the board.
Christian Watson.
You would be going for somebody like Christian Watson, Sky Moore, somebody like that. I don't think they'll take a running back. They have James Robinson. They drafted Travis Etienne a year ago. Maybe some offensive line help, but I don't know who. Yeah. Maybe this is where we see a Bernard Ryman come off the board. I don't know.
Here's a question.
Let's hear it.
When do y'all think Breece Hall is going to get drafted? Do you think he's going to get drafted before the next quarterback?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
I mean, at this point, who's going to because Detroit traded their second-round pick to go up and get Jamison Williams.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I'm trying to think in my head who would want to. Is Breece Hall going to go before the next quarterback?
I think that's a good possibility. I think unless a team moves up with these last, we're down to 6 picks, counting the Jags. Unless a team moves into the first round, I don't think another quarterback's going to be drafted tonight.
There's not a team of the remaining teams. You got Green Bay, New England, Kansas City, Cincy, and Minnesota. There's nobody really there that.
No.
Minnesota's the offshoots.
Maybe they want to start planning for life after Kirk Cousins, but he just signed a new deal.
You could say the same thing about Green Bay then.
Well, they still have Jordan Love. That was another take that I thought was interesting. Atlanta was reportedly wanting to trade for Jordan Love because the thinking was if Jordan Love had been in this draft class, he would be graded higher than any of these quarterback prospects.
That's true.
I mean, the longer and if you look at it, the longer Green Bay continues to hold on to Jordan Love, his value is just going to decrease.
Yeah, for sure.
And you might as well, with the quarterback, especially with this quarterback class and everything, and the uncertainty with where Baker Mayfield is, Jimmy Garoppolo, and especially as much money as those two are making, Jordan Love would be probably the safest option. You can't tell me that Garoppolo and Baker Mayfield, where they are now, are much better, or if they are better, than Jordan Love.
Taking a swing, rolling the dice. It is like, do you take the the really low floor or do you take the high ceiling? Green Bay. I mean, there's some people that think
Daxton Hill has no idea where he's going.
No, he doesn't. Look at all the hats. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh shit! I couldn't even.
Green Bay, I think, could go Christian Watson because I'm not a big fan of Christian Watson. The Packers need wide receivers. Watson kind of has that Devontae Adams kind of mold. Not comparing him to Devontae Adams, just saying that's where I could see them sliding him in.
I really want to. I've been really intrigued why Mel Kiper is not there. I wonder if it was just. I wonder if anything will come out of that. Probably not, but
I don't know. But that is a Mel Kiper sighting.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got the vid.
So, since we got a second, boys got plans for weekend?
Oh yeah.
Well, this man's gonna be busy. This man's got some work to do.
Yeah. I will be at the Memphis in May Bill Street Music Festival.
Ooh.
Friday and Saturday. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday festival, but I've double booked myself. So I'll be driving back Sunday afternoon to check out the 9 Inch Nails show out in Franklin.
Hopefully there's not a Grizzlies game 7.
God, no, they're going to get that taken care of tomorrow night.
Did you say hopefully you'll be going to that too?
All right, I am going.
Oh, you are?
Oh, I'll see you there. I'm in the nosebleeds.
Oh yeah, Jevin Lloyd. That's a
good value. Good value for the Jags there. Trayvon Walker, Devin Lloyd. I thought the Jags would go offense tonight, but they are loading up on the defensive side.
Yeah, I'll be in the 300s for that for the 9 Inch Nails.
We are too.
Oh yeah.
This cements, I think, unless there's another trade. We don't see another quarterback.
I don't think we do either. No.
Not unless someone is going to trade up. And when they trade up.
Oh, hang on.
We have a visitor.
I said, hang on.
Hi.
Why didn't you come through the garage? Well, you can go right around there. Just like I had the last one set up. Well, hang on. Let me put a picture up so if you want to walk upstairs.
What's been going on, fellas?
Ooh.
Oh.
Boy, it's been a night.
The Titans traded A.J. Brown. I'm going to cry.
What happened?
The best guess is, hang on, I'm going to put my linebacker rankings up here. I just think that they drafted a kid that is like, move it later. Yeah. Those are in the frame. Thank you. They got a kid that, plays a lot like AJ. They don't have to pay this kid $100 million. So I know it's AJ. I know. I don't fucking get it. I don't know what they're doing. There's an interesting video of the Titans war room when the decision was announced, when Mike Vrabel kind of gets up and walks away from everybody a little bit, and I don't know. Yeah, he did. He did. Everybody's already pointed that out. So I don't know.
It's been wild.
It's been wild.
I mean,
there's
so many trades, so many, like there was just a run of all.
They got the Eagles' first round pick and their third round pick. That's it. That's it. And then they traded their second first round pick to the Jets. So now, well, I mean, I'm okay with getting more picks, but I'm not okay with like giving away your best players. And I love Treylon Burks. He was my favorite wide receiver in this draft outside of Jamison Williams, a kid from Alabama. But see, now I know Clay Travis is kind of crazy, right? I don't like spreading his brain on the internet, but he tweeted what I was insinuating earlier. Titans just admitted they aren't a title team. Total rebuilding move by Ryan Tannehill. That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe they think the Super Bowl window is over and they're going to start moving some pieces and building around new ones. Yeah, come grab a mic. Come grab a mic. Come sit in with us. Oh, that's good. Oh, the new Jenny's flavor is in the freezer. Yes, I don't know if you'll like it, though. It's very fruity and citrusy. This is compelling broadcasting for...
this is amazing.
Well, let's look at it. The Titans turned the... the 51st overall pick of the 2019 draft into what, the 16th of this draft?
Yes. And a third. Yeah. So
you got a good return on your investment.
It's not, I don't think it's as bad. Some people are saying they got nothing for AJ Brown. I think that's a little bit of an overreaction.
So is saying that you're in the beginning stages of a rebuild when you just extended John Robinson and Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
You're about to give a boatload of money to Jeffrey Simmons. You're probably even looking at potentially even extending Derrick Henry again somewhere. That's got to be in the discussions.
And I think too, is you're talking about in the same class of free agency, you're talking about having to pay Nate Davis potentially, Amani Hooker potentially, David Long Jr. potentially. So, the thinking coming into the draft so much was, hey, if you take a quarterback in round one, you don't have to pay Ryan Tannehill. Like, what's better, paying Ryan Tannehill all this money and having nobody else around him, or paying a rookie quarterback and then still being able to pay Jeffrey Simmons and Nate Davis and David Long and Amani Hooker? So do you take the rookie and 4 players, or do you just take Ryan Tannehill? That kind of thinking can be applied for AJ Brown when you look at the deal he's getting with the Eagles. Do you pay AJ Brown and nobody else, or do you take Treylon Burks and then you can pay Amani Hooker, David Long Jr., Nate Davis? If that makes sense. No, it didn't. You're shaking your head at me. Thumbs down. Thumbs down from Aura.
Oh, I forgot that defensive end from Penn State was still on the board too. Man,
He's a good player.
If he can slip, if him or Breece Hall are there tomorrow when Houston drafts in the second round, that'd be great.
Kansas,
we did great. Saints did great tonight. Thanks for asking.
Oh, they did. They got Chris Olave and Trevor Penning.
Yeah,
that's two really good picks.
Mr. WrestleMania.
Mr. WrestleMania. Green Bay, Kansas City both need wide receivers, but I don't know that the receiving talent is there.
Here's what's going to happen.
Oh, New England needs a receiver as well. So the next 3 picks.
Green Bay is going to, for the second time in the first round, pick a defensive player and further extend the middle finger to Aaron Rodgers.
To Aaron Rodgers, yeah. Or they take man, the fact that Andrew Booth Jr. is still available to me is insanity. And maybe he goes here, but I think the Packers are pretty stacked at cornerback. If I remember, they invested an early pick last year on Eric Stokes, and that ended up being a pretty good pick. They got Jair Alexander. Maybe this is where the defensive lineman, Devontae Wyatt, another Georgia Bulldog, comes off the board here.
Well, I just saw one of the reporters, I guess, reporting early who New England is drafting. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, we'll see.
Eyebrow raiser?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a good pick, but I think some of y'all will be shocked. I like it.
The Packers here.
I saw the Packers pick on Twitter before, I saw the Patriots pick before the Packers.
Boom. What'd I just say?
You called it.
A big fuck you to Aaron Rodgers.
Big fuck you. Devontae Wyatt, interesting comparison to his teammate Jordan Davis, where Jordan Davis had the explosive, powerful qualities. Devontae Wyatt had more of the technique, the polish. You get him, you have a more experienced defensive tackle. He's more of a disruptive force in the pass rush, I believe, than Jordan Davis is as well. So this is a really good pick for Green Bay. We talked earlier in the program about positional value, and these defensive tackles, these guys that you just plug in the middle of your line, don't have the best value these days. Teams don't seem to value it that much, but the Packers are getting a guy that probably has top 15, top 20 talent here at 28. And again, a big fuck you to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's the second time this week he's got a big fuck you. Shailene Woodley said fuck off again for the second time.
That's right.
And now his team has done the same thing.
So now you've piqued my interest. The pick is already in for the Patriots. We're moving behind. Obviously, there's a lag going between the program and what's happening on the internet.
Well, here's a question, though, for you. AJ gets traded, gets the extension he wanted. What happens to Debo going forward?
I'm telling you, man, I think San Francisco is going to work to keep him. And I think the ultimate compromise is like, hey, maybe we don't use you 50 times a fucking game.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily the money, but the usage there. I don't know. I would be interested to see.
This pick is going to be – I like this pick for the Patriots. I can't believe it's already been out there as to who they picked, but I like it.
There's a fly in here. That's why the cat's been going crazy. Do you have eyes on him? You don't?
Why are there so many flies in here?
I don't know.
Wow. Do you want me to show you?
Yeah, show me. I called it. I called it. I called it. I said on Twitter not too long ago, I would not be surprised if he works his way into the first round. Good for him.
Friend of the brand.
Friend of the brand.
That was
I like it. Good for him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to send him a message tonight.
I was not expecting that. Good for that school.
That's got to be their highest. Is that their highest ever draft pick or one of them?
Outside of
T.O.?
T.O.
Yeah.
Has to be. I don't know what T.O. was drafted, but based on his career, I felt he went high. You're going to make me Google that, aren't you?
Yep. Man, I interviewed a first-round draft pick, y'all.
You sure as fuck did.
Awesome.
Damn, I really wanted him in Nashville, though.
That would have been great to see him in Nashville. He seemed like a really nice guy from your interview with him.
He was. Yeah, there was a little bit that I cut out. We were cutting up a little bit, and he's got a sense of humor. Real fun-loving guy, too.
He was drafted in the 3rd round in 96.
How about that?
89th overall to the 49ers. So, yeah, this has to be their highest rated draft pick ever. Go Mocs.
What a moment for the school. The AFC South has just been a wild ride this offseason. Got the Jags doing things. Texans finally trade away Deshaun Watson.
The
Colts somehow wind up with Matt Ryan. And
as a Saints fan,
yeah.
And the good news for the Titans, the Colts didn't have a first-round pick.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, there's still, 3 more to go. Anything can happen. Or technically 2.
So Cole Strange is going to be a first-round pick to the New England Patriots here.
It's wild.
So great for him.
I mentioned it as a possibility for the Titans a couple of days ago because you see how Cole Strange was rising. I told you earlier today, I was like, this kid's worked himself into solid second-round consideration. It's not that big of a leap. And when we talk about it just a minute ago, we were talking about the guard, the interior offensive line depth. Like after Kenyon Green, after Zion Johnson are off the board, there's a dip. So you need interior offensive linemen. You get the best guy available. The best guy available is Cole Strange. Maybe it's overvaluing to some people. I think this kid is going to be a difference maker in the NFL.
I'm going to be curious to see what their comments are about him in the video they show. That's what I'm curious to see.
Maybe they'll show my interview with him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? That is so cool.
It's the least enthusiastic I've ever seen a group of Patriots fans. They're like, where's Chattanooga?
Where is Chattanooga?
I wonder how Ben's feeling about this pick. Our friend in Chattanooga.
He's in Chattanooga, and he's a Patriots fan.
I know.
Yeah. Good, versatile
no
guy.
Video or anything?
Plays with a punch. He likes to get out at the second level and find somebody to block.
But there's a 93% chance he would have been there
at 54.
At 54.
They must have really liked him.
If that's your guy, you don't take that chance.
Yeah, just like Derek Stingley. 3, I'm still screaming in my head about.
Kansas City Chiefs. The pick is in. Christian Watson. They get the pass rusher. Well, he was high on a lot of people's boards. High floor guy. Really good, pure pass rusher. Really good, strong, straight line, bull rush kind of guy. I don't know that he has the bend to get around tackles in the NFL, but hey, you get him at pick number 30. Now we've only got 2 picks left in this first round. That's a pretty good value, I'd say.
So I'm looking at what the Eagles did in 2019 draft before A.J. Brown was drafted.
Was that the year they took Jalen Reagor?
They took Andre Dillard, tackle.
Oh, that's right. That was a reach then,
in
yeah.
the first round. And then let's see what else they had. That might have been their only pick before. Yeah, that was their only pick in the first 51 picks. So they got their guy 4 years later.
They got their guy.
And didn't give up a lot to get him.
So the Bengals are on the clock here.
They need offensive line help.
Well, they added 3 guys in free agency. I think I
would get more.
I wonder if maybe this is a spot where we see a tight end come off the board.
We might.
CJ Uzomah is a New York Jet now. The cupboard is bare.
You need
the Bengals
to Kelsey already.
The what now?
Oh, Bengals. I had Kansas City on my mind.
Oh no, the Bengals. The Bengals.
Sorry.
Yes.
I saw a bunch of Chiefs fans that threw me off. I like that because there's a lot of tight ends in this draft that I really like that I think could be borderline first-round picks.
Trey McBride immediately comes to mind for me.
That's the big one for me too. And then who is it? The UCLA tight end Dulcich?
Greg Dulcich.
Yeah, Dulcich.
Man, he looked like a damn show pony out at his pro day. Built like a Greek god, just out there shirtless. I don't mean to give everybody at the table boners, but like he was getting it, you know.
And could get it.
He's a good route runner, dynamic playmaker, a weapon. Oh, man. So it looks like we're going to go Bengals here unless they can trade out. Maybe somebody wants to come up and get the quarterback.
The pick is in.
Oh, the pick is in. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even see that. And then we have the Minnesota Vikings. And then that feels like that's going to do it for like the quickest first round of the NFL draft in history, it feels like.
At 3.5 hours now?
3.5 hours,
picks
yeah.
are going to take half an hour.
Yeah, touche. Well, you know what it is now. The Bengals are on the phone with all the teams that might need quarterbacks trying to deal that pick.
I'm just looking at some options for tomorrow, and I see that my man Calvin Austin III is the 7th.
CA3.
Is the 7th rated wide receiver still out there. I think he could be a late second, possibly third.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. It's rare that you see smaller guys like him that play with such a violent physicality. You know, it's not like he's getting out there and mowing people down, but just the way he plays the game is just so fearless, I guess is the way to say it.
What was the receiver's name for Philly? And he ended his career in New Orleans. And he was just
are you thinking of Darren Sproles?
Yes.
Darren Sproles. I see a little bit of Darren Sproles.
I fucking loved him.
In Calvin Austin III. Yeah. I can jive with that.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping tomorrow Houston's first pick. Breece Hall.
Bro, I was about to say Breece Hall.
Please, please, for the love of God. You didn't get Kyle Hamilton. Breece Hall.
What do you think of Kenneth Walker III?
I think he would be a good pick too. I think they need to, if anything, I think if one of those two is available tomorrow, they need to take one of the two. have had the worst running game for the past 2 years. They desperately need to do it. They got Marlon Mack this offseason. I'm sorry, but Marlon Mack is not.
Yeah.
He might be good for a couple of, but he is not a definitive RB1. You need to go get that RB1.
Kenneth Walker III, drawing the comparisons to Willie Parker, I think is one of the most spot-on comparisons in this entire draft class. He looks like that type of running back. He's fast. He's fluid in the open field. Not going to wow you with, his physical blocking or anything, but I don't know that anybody in this running back class not named Brian Robinson Jr. is a blocking specialist, if you will. So you just look at the total package with Kenneth Walker III, and I think he and Breece Hall are two different running backs, but I think each can be a running back one in the NFL.
Absolutely. And my thing is this. If the Texans right now, the depth chart has Marlon Mack RB1, Rex Burkhead RB2, that's not going to cut it. You draft a guard with your second first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
If you're committing to that and you have Titus Howard and Laramie Tunsil as your tackles, and you're going to go with Justin Britt at center for 2 years, you have 4 of your 5 pieces on the line committed, at least for the next year, then you have to give some support for Davis Mills. You got to give him a running back there in the backfield. You got to get someone with fresh legs. They need to. If they don't address it tomorrow, I'm going to be concerned, because otherwise, what are you doing picking a guard at 15? What are you doing?
Well, fair enough. Yeah, I think the quarterbacks are done for tonight. I think Kenny Pickett went to the Steelers, and I think that's going to do it.
Well, unless somebody trades with Minnesota. But I don't see that happening, especially to get a quarterback.
Let's see. Who's at the top of the second round? Let's see.
I think Tampa picks first.
I don't think they'll be looking for a...
And then Minnesota again. Then the Titans are third. Then you have the Giants, Texans, Jets, Bears, back-to-back picks by the Seahawks, and the Colts finally are your first 10 picks in the second round.
Huh. Man, the Giants might end up with Malik Willis after all.
Very possible.
So...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever.
That's a good pick.
Okay.
That's a good pick.
So if things work out the way that they could for Houston tomorrow, they're only going to have one pick in the second round tomorrow. But if things work out the way I'm looking at this, none of the teams in the second round ahead of Houston have a need at running back. I don't think the Bucs do. We definitely know that the Vikings, Titans, and Giants do not have a need at running back. So there is a chance, unless someone is trading up and really wants one of those two running backs, that Houston could be in a position to get someone like Breece Hall, which, unless you think you can get a defensive standout at that spot, I mean, we'll see. I think we're going to see maybe 3 running backs go in the second round tomorrow.
I was about to say, I think tomorrow is when we're going to start seeing the run on the running backs, the tight ends, and the quarterbacks go.
Yep. I like James Cook as that third option at running back in this draft because he's got good hands. You can put him on the outside.
Great
catch
pass
the ball.
catcher. Yeah.
I think he might be a steal for somebody.
Yeah. Well, a guy that met with the Titans too.
Yeah.
The Titans used a top 30 visit on James Cook. If they take a running back tomorrow night, and this is the last time I'll say it, if they take a running back tomorrow night, I will start to think maybe they really do think the window's closing quicker.
But the one that baffles me, because the one true issue that team has is quarterback.
Yeah.
They've had multiple opportunities to address it since that third pick was thrown and have done nothing.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't know. I think this offseason is interesting. I will be curious. We will likely never hear from Mike Vrabel or John Robinson on the thought processes behind the decisions made this offseason, but I would really like to know. Why this A.J. Brown deal happened, why there wasn't an effort if you are going to get the quarterback of the future, why wasn't that move made at 26 there when you could have had anybody you wanted except for Kenny Pickett in this draft?
And also, did Amy Adams have anything to do with this decision?
That would be an interesting question as well. I think she's typically a pretty hands-off owner.
But she does sign the checks.
Me scratching my beard into the microphone.
I do think
I usually ASMR for you guys
after the first round kind of check out, and I just will see things on Twitter and whatnot, and I'll go back at the end of the day and just look at all the picks and such. I'm really excited.
Day 2 is going to be good. Yeah. Day 2 is going to be really good. Nakobe Dean still available. Andrew Booth still available. The quarterbacks still available.
Nakobe Dean's the number 1 right now. Malik Willis is right behind him at 2. The next quarterback off the bat,
Breece Hall, though, the running backs, the pass rusher from Penn State. I can't pronounce his name. Forgive me.
We're just going to call him Arnold.
David Ajabo, some people thought would be a top 15 pick.
Yeah, Christian Watson's still out there. The wide receivers still. And then you get to Desmond Ridder down the line.
Lewis Cine.
Kenneth Walker III.
Travis Jones, a guy we watched terrorize offensive linemen at the Senior Bowl this year.
My man, Trey McBride, Matt Corral. Oh,
Roger McCreary, I'm high on him. I thought he could have snuck into the first round tonight.
Surprised that the final pick of the draft hasn't gone through yet or come through Twitter yet.
Well, it's the Vikings. Nobody really cares about them.
This is true. So Trayvon Walker went number 1 overall. Aiden Hutchinson went 2 overall. Derek Stingley Jr. 3rd overall. 4th overall was Sauce Gardner. 5 overall to
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yes, that's right.
Well, as we wait for the Vikings pick to come in, I'll go ahead and ask you guys this, so that because I know you've got work in the morning, you've got a flight early in the morning. Overall impressions of the first round, Stephen, we'll start with you. Is there a pick that you particularly like? What surprised you the most? What stood out about tonight?
Well, I'll wait for
the pick is in.
Yeah.
At this point.
The hell is he wearing around his neck?
All right.
Yeah, that's another Georgia Bulldog there. So 4 of them end up going in the first round off of that Georgia defense. That's a good pick. Lewis Cine, good safety there, fills a need for the Vikings. And we see 2 defensive backs close out the round. So Stephen, overall impressions of what you saw tonight, the first round of the 2022 NFL draft.
As a Saints fan, I thought we had a solid first round.
Saints were a winner.
The 2 picks I thought they would get, they actually got. They just got them in reverse order and had to give up a little extra to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But got a job done. I think the 2 big winners tonight are in the NFC East, and it's the Eagles and the Giants. I loved both of their picks in this first round. And the Eagles added a lot of future picks throughout as well between the trades with New Orleans and Tennessee.
I'm with you there, Sean. Anything particular stand out for you?
Man, I think the Giants had arguably the best night, maybe, at least on paper.
Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal. That's a good haul.
And I think the Jets, what they got Sauce Gardner,
Jermaine
Johnson. I mean, what you're saying, Robert Sala's got to be doing cartwheels. So I think the New York teams did really well, all things considered. The best pick, in my opinion, tonight was definitely Kyle Hamilton to Baltimore. He's just going to fit right in.
I was going to mention Baltimore, getting Kyle Hamilton and Tyler Linderbaum tonight.
And for the Texans, the more I read about this while we've been watching this draft, I must be in the minority on Derek Stingley Jr. because everyone is raving about the pick. They love it. I don't know. I see red flags. I'm just concerned at pick number 3, you draft a cornerback. They better be damn sure that he lives up to that number 3 overall pick because it's a risk no matter what right now.
Yeah.
But everyone raves about it. We'll see. Wade doesn't train camp this upcoming season. Got to produce, and he's going to be asked to do a lot right away. I like the guard that they pick. Overall, I think I would give it probably like a B- or C+ for Houston.
Okay.
But we're still in a rebuild. Who knows? I mean, I might come around the Derek Stingley thing. We just got to see how the rest of the draft goes for Houston. But the other thing is just like the run of receivers in this draft.
That was
and
a
then
surprise.
All the trades.
Yeah.
I still can't believe this A.J. Brown trade. It's going to be hard to digest. But I think in new time, I mean, John Robinson has earned, for the most part, he has earned the trust of the fan base, or the fan base should trust in him. He's done pretty well ever since he got there. The only real miss I think he has had is the Isaiah Wilson pick. That's it. I mean, other than that, he's been pretty good. I mean, he's about been as good as a GM as you could ask for in the NFL. So
I would add a couple of individual picks to what you guys said. I would say Baltimore, Kyle Hamilton, Tyler Linderbaum. I think New Orleans getting Trevor Penning and Chris Olave was good. I really love Trent McDuffie to the Kansas City Chiefs because you can just see the vision, that being a 1-for-1 replacement for Tyrann Mathieu. I think he's going to be a great player in this league. I love sneaky good pick that we didn't really talk about a whole lot. Zion Johnson to the Chargers. The Chargers have been reloading in free agency. They needed some help on the offensive line. They get a guy that is polished, good technique, versatile, can play center, can play guard, wherever they need him to. And then there was one other team that I was going to mention. No, maybe not. Maybe not.
But we have to mention our favorite pick of the night, Cole Strange.
Cole Strange to the Patriots, man. I am so happy for that guy. Really, really good kid, really good player too. I don't mean to make it sound like, oh, because I got to interview him, I'm happy for him. Like, no, he's a really good player. He's somebody that I was really high on. I entertained the possibility of him sneaking into the first round a week ago. I thought it was possible that he was somebody that had a versatile, valuable skill set that teams would value without the guard depth that this draft has. So that's going to do it for us then, fellas. I appreciate you sticking this out with me over 3.5 hours on the air. As a reminder, you can check out all of our work at SoBrosNetwork.com, all of our merch up at SoBrosShop.com. Support the team through Patreon. $5 a month gets you instant access to an exhaustive content library at patreon.com/SoBrosNetwork. Subscribe to the Unofficial Titans podcast on Apple Podcasts, wherever you take in your shows. We are out there. For Sean Atkins and Stephen McCash, I am Stoney Keeley. And until next time, don't burn your couches. Don't burn your jerseys. Try to stay classy, Titans fans.